Louboutins, can't take her home tomorrow. No, she don't belong. All she needs is a dog, getting this bone. Let me find out that thing. That thing. That thing. Let me find out that thing. That thing. That thing. Let me find out that thing. Let me find out that thing. Walking up the stairs, feel like I made it. Promiscuous woman, she in the dirty streets. You know what I'm saying? She doing the thing, that thing. That thing. That thing. That thing. You can't walk a mile in these Louboutins. Can't take her home tomorrow. No, she don't belong. All she needs is a dog, getting this bone. Let me find out that thing. That thing. That thing. Let me find out that thing. That thing. That thing. Let me find out that thing. Let me find out that dirty slut bitch, anything goes. Promiscuous soul, she out here in the dirty streets. I'm in the dirty streets. You know what I'm saying? She doing a thing. That thing. That thing. That dirty slut bitch, anything goes. Promiscuous soul, she out here in the dirty streets. I mean the dirty streets. You know what I'm saying? She doing her thing. You can't walk a mile in these Louboutins. Can't take her home tomorrow.
Great song. I love that song by Evil Eddie. Check him out, Evil Eddie. Okay, so for tonight's call-in show, right, call-in panel, I am going to react to some a feminist, I guess, debate kind of videos. So I think it might be interesting. So let's get started. If any of you guys want to, talk about anything, right? Link is in the chat. If you want to talk about anything, okay? We can always talk about all the other stuff I've talked about in the past. So I'm always down to talk about that. But yeah, let's get started. Let's get started.
Even be allowed to have an opinion on that? I have answers to both of those questions, but I brought women on to give me political cover. I'm very excited to have back to the show one of my favorite libs I've ever had on any of my shows. That would be Leftist Blondie, who you can catch in one of my bar fight episodes just a few weeks ago. Returning once again.
See this? I mean, again, it might be only my FYP, but I don't see the left that welcoming of opposing opinions, right? At least, like, I'm talking about big time people, right? Yeah, you might be fine with yo, Laughing Man, what is up, my brother? What is up? What's up, my brother? Yeah, they may be fine with, like, random audience, but it's like usually like toe-to-toe kind of same level in a sense. I don't see them doing that.
Melanie Mack, along with Emily Saves America. This is a nice reunion and an introduction to the show. Priya Patel, a conservative commentator. I'm going to tell a little tale out of school before we delve into the question, ladies. I've wanted to have this debate for a while because I found I was doing public events and people were asking me seriously if we should work to campaign to repeal the 19th Amendment. I said, it doesn't seem totally realistic. I don't know, but they kept bringing it up, and it wasn't just a bomb throwing kind of thing. They were very serious about it. So I said, okay, well, let me see. Let's have a panel about it. Let's get some libs and some conservatives, people who support women voting, people who oppose women voting.
Now, I want to say this, right? I don't I don't think that women vote all that well, right? They vote. Women are very one. What is it? One policy voters, right? Women are very like they find one policy, usually abortion, usually I don't know, minority rights or trans right or whatever, right? It's usually just like one policy, hyper focus on that. Okay, which in my opinion is not the best way to do it. Plus, women are very emotional. Okay, so when you can gear towards their emotions, you got them. Okay, so but here's the thing: we're adults. Sadly, I'm not part of the camp that necessarily wants to take away women's rights to vote. Now, I wouldn't mind us reshaping how we should vote in America, right? If you, I don't know, for everyone, not just women, men, women, black, white, whatever, right? If you are a business owner, you have property, I've seen it where I've heard people say that if you done, from the military, you've had selective services, you work for the government. It's like I don't know, you have a long-term employment, whatever, right? Whatever. You have a bigger stake in your world, right? In your country. I don't think college students should be voting. I don't think so because I think they are, in my opinion, they are too stupid, right? I think college students are too stupid. I think they're too emotional. They're easily manipulated, right? I'm not saying that adults wouldn't be able to be manipulated. I just think they're still children in mind, right? So there's also some people who say, "Oh, you should start at 25 for voting." I don't think that's illogical. So yeah,
I couldn't find a conservative woman who supported women's suffrage. The number of women who were conservative in the year of our Lord 2026 who actually think women should vote is vanishingly small. So I said, man, the culture really shifts real fast, doesn't it? Could we just go around the horn real quick in maybe an order of introduction? Leftist, Blondie, Melanie, Emily, and Priya. Just real quick, do you think women should vote?
Yes, of course. I think that women should vote. It is in their best interest.
Next up,
I'm fine if we do or if we don't.
Melanie.
I think if we had the right infrastructure, we wouldn't have to, but in our current infrastructure, yes.
Okay, Priya.
I think it would be a near impossible move for our country to make, but I mean, women's suffrage goes against essentially what the founders established in our country. So,
See, this is what I'm saying. So this was the most diverse panel I could assemble, and you've got two conservatives who say, now women probably shouldn't vote, or maybe I don't really care, whatever. One woman says definitely shouldn't vote, and then we have leftist Blondie out there who says, yes, it's in their interest. So, without revealing my perspective on this just yet, leftist Blondie, you're the odd man out, odd lady out. Why should women vote?
something in between. So I think there's a few different arguments. You can look at political philosophy that has a lot of arguments regarding voting and why citizens in general should vote. And if those arguments extend to women, then women also have a duty to vote. You can look at things like people who opt into a social contract, whether tacitly or actively, have a moral obligation to vote. If women are included in those people who have opted into, a social contract in a society where they benefit from voting, then they should be able to vote.
Okay, well,
I don't juice. I don't really juice, right? But there's once in a while, right? So I don't juice often. I love strawberries, right? So when I do, right, I don't do it that often. The berries, right? Strawberries, blueberries, grapes. I've done it before, right? So I have. I don't really put vegetables in it. I may put powdered, right? Certain things that have certain powders that have vegetables in it, other vitamins in it. I don't do it as often as I do because, to be honest, I don't even eat breakfast like that. Right, so in the morning I don't really juice or anything. So yeah.
Let's say they benefit from voting, but as you point out, the social contract, this premise of liberal government says that people get certain rights from the government and they have certain responsibilities toward the government. And so one of the arguments made by people who oppose women's suffrage is that men have many more obligations than women do. Most notably, perhaps, the draft. They've got to go out there and fight in wars. The government can compel them to do so. Women, at least for now, don't have that obligation. So if men have more at stake, there's more on the line for men, shouldn't men have more say over when we do and do not go to war?
Well, that question wouldn't make it such that women should no longer be able to vote or shouldn't vote. It would just mean something like maybe men have, more of an obligation to vote, or maybe men who their vote should weigh more or something crazy like that. But that's not.
No, I've never had dragon fruit. Now I had opportunities, but I've never been tempted. Right? I've never been tempted. I've never tried dragon fruit before. Evil Eddie, my brother, what is up? What is up?
With women voting, I don't think that the draft should be a thing. So I think that saying like, well, men just have these greater obligations, that kind of assumes that they should be. So
ridiculous. Don't think the draft should be a thing. This is the problem with women. All right. This is the problem with feminism. It's their ridiculous ideologies, right? It's their delusional ideologies. It's their out of touch with reality ideologies. Okay. Yeah. Men don't care for the draft either. But the problem is it's not part of reality. Okay. It is a reality that in a world where we are not unified, this ain't a utopia, right? We don't live in a utopia, okay? We don't live in a world government, right? It's just not that. So it's not one nation, right? It's not like all nations are just one nation. No. So we have different nations, different people, period. So sadly, we have to have the draft, right? Governments have to have. Again, I'm not saying I agree to it or not, but it is part of reality. Okay. When you have opposing groups, you need a force to, enact or enforce rights, right? To enforce, I don't know, directives. So this is the delusion of a lot of women where they don't understand you. This is a problem with women where they always fight against forced doctrine. Okay. You have no rights if you can't enforce it, right? You have no rights if you cannot enforce it. So many times, like, you think that we can go to the Middle East, like hypothetically, go to the Middle East and, I don't know, make the Middle Eastern government give women rights. You cannot diplomat or talk that shit out. You can't. You just can't, in my opinion. You sadly will have to, in some cases, go to war for it.
I don't think
we have a right now at the very least. We have selective surveys.
Well, presumably we're not here to talk about like what currently exists. We're here to talk about like what people should do.
No, but I guess your point is, so right now, year of our Lord, 2026, where a ton of conservative women now are anti-women's suffrage, you say that we're all in this social contract together and that's why women should vote. And I'm just pointing out right now, men have certain obligations that women don't have. And so doesn't that contradict your argument?
No, it doesn't actually contradict my argument. In fact, there's other supplemental arguments that could motivate women to voting. So I think that just because people have certain moral responsibilities doesn't mean that they somehow should get a more political say in something. And once again, we're here to talk about what people should do. If we want to talk about like, oh, okay, well, there's currently people in our justice system who are wrongfully incarcerated. Well, that's just the way it is. I guess they'll be wrongfully incarcerated. Well, we should talk about what kind of society that we want to see.
No, but I guess there might be some confusion here. We're not talking about morality necessarily in this question. You said that the whole premise of your argument is that we have a certain civic setup and we have certain benefits that we get from civil society and we have certain obligations. And so if certain people have more civic obligations, then shouldn't they have more rights within the civil society?
Well, no, certainly not. You can look at like people like police officers. I think police officers in certain cases have more of an obligation to protect their citizens.
But they volunteer.
Now, do they have, okay, right, but they still take that responsibility upon themselves. So they do still have more moral obligations. I think that politicians have more moral obligations and political obligations than the average person does. Should a politician's vote matter than the average person's? Well, no, of course not.
Okay,
Yeah.
Priya, you're the most opposed to it. Why should
This is the foolishness of the left. You make almost no sense. You make pretty much no sense. You didn't even tackle the core of the argument. Men have a responsibility. Men have a duty. Men have a it's a force, right? They're forced. When if a draft it literally happened in Ukraine, right? In the last in our lifetime, it literally happened in Ukraine. So it wouldn't be a surprise in modern day, right? Drafts happen, right? If you are forced to die for your country, should you not have more of a right in said country? If you are not forced to die for your country, should you have less of a right? Plain and simple. This is why I've never heard of a good, clear argument against when it comes to when they bring up the draft. I don't hear a good, clear argument against it, right? I mean, the draft is a clear example of why. You know what? Why would we put women? Why would we give women power to possibly send men to war? Okay, so hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, women wanted to free Palestine, right? Hypothetically, which you see now, right? Women want to free Palestine, but they can't get it to working with diplomats, right? Talking it out won't work. So hypothetically, women vote in a president that wants to completely free Palestine. I run on this one topic, one policy, one whatever. I will free Palestine. Right? Women in mass vote for that person. Guess what? That person then, because he wants to do what women voted for, he will do a draft. He will send men to war, right, to free Palestine. Literally, but now men are forced to do what women wanted, right? Right there, it's right there.
women not vote?
The founders believed in universal.
Exactly. When yourself will not be drafted. Okay. I've heard so many stories with the Ukraine. So many women were either allowed to go to other countries or just stay at home.
Suffrage, and I mean, I think that self-governance comes with a moral responsibility, but also, I mean, some sort of stake in the game. And today we have a mass movement of people that are hyper dependent on.
This is why I don't mind women voting. I just say that we should put women in the draft as well. I'm sorry, right? Here's the thing, right? If they're not qualified, so what? Here's the thing where there's many armies throughout histories. They have sent farmers, the poor, whatever, onto the battle of a war. Just the sheer amount of people, right, is a military tactic. Okay, the sheer amount of bodies is also a military tactic. So I'm sorry, women should 100% be selected for the draft as well.
On the government that don't have any personal property that they own, they're not married, they have nothing that they're actually voting for other than emotional and short-term, essentially incentives, right? And of course that ties into the 19th Amendment, but it's not necessarily an argument to take away women's rights altogether. But I think that the problem is destructuring exactly what the fundamental political unit is, and that's the family.
Yes, because look, when you say essentially that women are just more emotional, and I say, well, sure, maybe that's true, but also, there are plenty of men who are low information, who are emotional. There are plenty of men who, in an ideal regime, probably wouldn't vote either. So I think you've really hit on the point here, which is, well, when the country was founded, the fundamental political unit was the family. And then the 19th Amendment says, no, the fundamental political unit is the individual. And this is why there were so many women, I think it was the majority of women, who opposed women's suffrage, who opposed the 19th Amendment. And it's not just that they were self-hating women or they were misogynists or something. There actually is a deep political philosophical question here, which is, well, hold on, what's going to be the basic unit of society? Is it going to be the family or is it going to be the individual?
Exactly. And it was the
thanks to feminism. This is why I stand on the ground of feminism is evil. Feminism is the root of, in my opinion, all modern day evils, all modern day problems. Most, if I'll be a little generous, most of modern day problems, because I believe, personal opinion, that feminism is the start of individuality, right? Feminism is the start of individuality. Feminism is what killed the community, what killed the family unit. Feminism. It is what started America's obsession with the individuality, right? There was a point in time where America was family oriented, was community oriented, just like most of the rest of the world, right? Just like most of the rest of the world, it was very community oriented, very family oriented. Because of feminism, it has changed to think about the individual, focus on the individual, don't care about the community, don't care about the family. And that is honestly the poison of feminism, in my opinion, right? Feminism started that, pretty much movement of thinking about yourself rather than thinking about your community, your family, or the greater good. It was the start of ego, of narcissism.
Family, when the founders, wrote up the Constitution and, essentially founded our country. But now we have a society of hyper-individualism, and that's not only tied to women and feminism, it's obviously spread throughout society. But right now it's nearly impossible for young people to actually gain ownership of anything, and they're voting for more government dependence, honestly, and punishing people that actually make society, that vote in the interest of the person and the ability to move upward in society, upward mobility, essentially. They're voting.
To be honest, I say, I see your point, right? I see your point, Laughing Man, but I'll say this. I believe in equality. They go to the front line. I don't care. I really don't care. Women should go to the front line. If you think you are equal to a man, it is time for you to lay your body, lay your life on the line as well. I don't care if you're inept, incapable, or not as good as men. I don't care. It's time to prove yourself. This is my thing. Okay. At the end of the day, women can't say all these shit, right? And have no repercussions for it. Women can't say that I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right? Today in 2026, men are useless, men are nothing, all this shit. And not say that, okay, fine, you don't need no man, right? Men don't do anything for you. You can survive on your own. Okay. Then we will think of you no different than a man, right? We will think you no different than anyone else. If a man has to lay his life on the line for his country, you will too, 100%.
Against that, they're voting for more government spending and punishment.
Like, they don't need any training to be cannon fodder. This is a thing where, like I said, okay, even if you're not trained enough, sheer amount of numbers is also a military tactic. And this is the thing. If you're not trained enough, that's your fault. I think that's your fault. So at the end of the day, if women want the equal rights of men, you should also receive the equal consequences, equal responsibilities, equal duties of men.
The people that actually help society run.
But that's not just a woman thing. There are male libs. They're one of the most.
I do know why you're saying it, right? I do know why you're saying it. I'm just saying that, at the end of the day, I believe in equality. I believe in equality, true equality. Okay. If you think you're equal to a man, time to shut up and, prove it.
Groups in the world, and so that specifically, like if you could wave a magic wand right now, would you repeal the rights of men?
I would. I think it would be better for the country overall, and I would gladly give up my right to vote for the betterment of the nation. But do I think that that's a realistic thing that would happen today? No, but I think that we could go back to something in terms of I don't know exactly how you'd structure this, but something of a single family vote, but there would have to be some sort of stipulation because, of course, the individuals that are unmarried and don't own property would vastly outnumber those that are married. But we'd have to structure it somehow to where maybe you're married or you're a property owner or you're a business owner, because I think that's the only way that we get back to a society that's actually voting for the betterment of the people. And that's how you earn self-governance, I think, at the end of the day.
People who have a stake in society. Emily, you said you don't care. You don't care. You're being so flippant about your right to vote that you're feminist. I can't say your feminist ancestors because a lot of the feminists didn't have kids, but like your great aunt, you know, was marching for with the suffragettes, and you're just spitting in her face and saying you don't care that she won you the sacred right to vote. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of men helped out as well. And maybe she wasn't doing that. Maybe she was sitting at home and she was very happy and she didn't want to go work because it sucks. And I've never met a woman that really wants to go to work. I feel like it's kind of like we have to treat women now almost like children. It's like we gave them too much. Now we need to reel it back in a bit. Kind of have to teach them the lesson the hard way. And I don't understand. People are voting and they have no stake in the game. They're voting for more government. They want more free handouts. And then women really just vote. I mean, especially.
That is interesting. You know what? You know what? I don't mind. I didn't think about that. I don't mind the idea. I don't mind the idea if like women that have families, a husband and children should not be drafted. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. You want, because if women have a husband and have children, yeah, that may be a loophole. I can see that, right? I mean, she's more beneficial to society if she stays and take care of the next generation. While women, the feminists who are, you know, strong, independent, single, no husband, no child, well, yeah, on to the front line you go. Yeah. She'll be a perfect cannon fodder. All right. So I kind of see that. If you don't have a family, well, time for you to you know, do your civic duty.
On the left, just for abortion. That's the only thing they care about. They want the right to
Yeah, I do agree. But here's the thing but one person has to take care of the children. So, you know what? I would say this. She could stay home, right? She could stay home and take care of the next generation while the man has to, you know, even if he has a wife and a child, you know, that's the sad reality of men. It's always going to be unfair of men, right? But we still need someone to take care of the children, the next generation. But she better be a wife, better, you know,
kill innocent babies. And so I'm like, I don't know, maybe we gave you guys too much and maybe we need to just reel it back a little bit.
Yeah,
is that going to happen? Oh, it would.
Leftist Blondie, are you a child who only cares about slaughtering infants? And do we need to teach you a lesson, Leftist Blondie, for Emily?
Well, if we want to talk about unjust slaughtering in the United States, I think we should address factory farming first. So I'm more considerate about that type of issue. If we're talking about lives unjustly being taken, so we can go into that kind of thing if you really want to. But I don't think that the abortion, of course, there's a fundamental disagreement that the taking of the fetus's life before sentience is unjust. So I think there
not nearly as unjust as killing the chickens, you would say.
I was going to say, I agree. No, you're right. Yeah, no, killing a fetus that's not sentient is less unjust than killing an animal that is sentient and can feel pain and desires to live. So yeah, I think it's a pretty.
Could an animal feel desire to live? I mean, I guess, but this is the insanity of the left, right? This is the insanity of the left. So instead of caring about the continuation of the next generation, i.e., kids, fetuses, they care about animals. Yeah. Send them to the front line. Send these feminists to the front line. Right? Send them. I'm sorry. Women like this, send them to the front line. Do it now. Do it right now. Right? I'm sorry. It's just like then.
Moral grade wrong. But there's going to be
I'm starting to go into one camp on the 19th Amendment now. That answer is pushing me much further.
This is the problem. We want to take away their rights.
'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to preborn.com/Knowles. 'Cause there's a lot more to say. First, though, go to pre A lot of good movements in the culture. We're seeing a return to tradition. freeborn.com/Knowles, freeborn.com/Knowles.
So you want to take away rights for 51% of the country because 1% of the population is vegan?
Preferably more.
Is that what,
But yeah.
I mean, that's what Michael was saying, or he's over here for me.
Yeah.
But
Also, now they came out with
No,
that
so
plants have feelings that can feel pain. But technically, if you eat vegetables, kind of evil
that's
as well.
just incorrect. Well, if plants have feelings and plants can feel pain, then you should eat vegan because then you're eating less plants. But anyways, so to address what
Hold
Michael
on, if
said,
you're not eating plants, I know this is getting a little far afield, but if you're not eating plants and you're not eating meat, are you eating rocks? Well, certainly you're eating organic matter, I think. Isn't that how eating
you
works?
should. Eating vegan causes less crop deaths and less animal deaths. So yes, you should eat it, and it also causes less plant deaths because most of the crops that we grow go towards livestock.
I'm going
Anyways,
full
so-
Al Bundy on the 19th Amendment every second of this conversation. Melanie, do you?
Bringing you over, Michael.
Melanie.
Well, I really want to address really quickly, if I can, what Priya said about, you should have to own property or maybe have a family or remarry to vote. So then are you fine excluding, and what Michael said about men have to go to war. So what about the men who can't go to war? What about the people who will never get married or can't get married, like nuns? Should nuns not be able to vote? Should certain priests not be able to vote?
I honestly don't think most nuns do vote, to be honest with you.
No,
the
in
question
fairness,
wasn't
if
if
they
they
vote,
do
they
or
probably
don't.
vote Republican. So I
Yeah,
do want to
exactly.
franchise the nuns, but
Right, so you're disenfranchising groups that you don't want to disenfranchise by doing that sort of thing.
No, so what? So what? The thing is that at the end of the day, this is the problem with a lot of people, particularly on the left. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's like I hate these things where communism. Show me, right? Just because capitalism, just because of democracy, or I don't know, Democratic, Republican, whatever is not perfect. You want it to be abolished. Yes, some people may not be able to vote, but here's the thing. Is it that big of a deal? Let's say hypothetically, if all nuns stop voting, okay, are we going to really feel that much of an impact of it? Can we get a female draft already? Yes, exactly. For F's sakes, man. Yes, I agree. Bring that female draft. For vegetarians is bad hunters. Yo, I love the joke. The native word for vegetarian is bad hunter. I love it.
that's a very good point. This is my hesitation, really, because I think what the crux of the matter is a disagreement over how people view voting in itself. Some people think voting is a good in itself, like when Puff Daddy 25 years ago, before the freak offs and all that, before the prison, when he would just go out and he said, vote or die. Like, I'll shoot you if you don't vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for, you just got to vote. And I thought, well, I don't know, voting in itself doesn't mean anything at all. You go, you pull a ballot. These days, you type a number on a computer. And so, but that doesn't matter. It's an instrument for good government.
I would say this, right? Voting is, in my opinion, national voting is useless. Right? National voting is, in my opinion, useless. I believe that your vote matters more locally. In your state, in your city, voting is more important there. Okay? Those are the people that will directly affect your life. Your governor, your mayor, those are the people that will directly affect your life. Okay? Because to be honest, mayors and governors can override, governmental whatever, right? Policies or, executive orders, whatever, right? I think in some things, your local state, your state, your local government can override.
And so I'm with you, Priya and Emily. I would happily surrender my vote if they disenfranchised millennial cigar smokers, and that would get millennial cigar smokers are super right wing, but if cigar smokers generally, but if doing so would give me better government, take my vote. I don't care. Now I get a Tuesday free every November. Melanie, do you have a more reasonable take?
I do, because I think some of these are short-term solutions that sound all fine and good right now. I think that if women didn't vote right now, it would fix a lot of short-term problems. But we have to look at the big picture here, and we have to look at before when women didn't vote, it was because most of them, the high majority, were in the home, and they didn't they weren't out in the workforce. Now, almost 50% of the workforce is women. And then also you have the fact that almost everybody who voted back in the day before women could vote were Christian men. And so right now, society isn't exactly functioning optimally in a Christian manner. And I think that truly how we succeed as a nation is going to be with God. And so if we are not...
I agree. I mean, this is the thing where this is why I always talk out about it, right? I always want to talk out about it because I love the West. I love America. I want things to be better. Cowboy, what is up, my brother? I always want to say, Ethan, what is up? What is up? Thank you for stopping by, guys. Thank you for stopping by.
Christian nation, then I don't trust giving up my vote to godless men. I just don't. And I think that especially given like the rise of Muslims that are just taking over everywhere and things like that, we run into potential issues in the future of where it's like, okay, I don't want to be forced to wear a hijab. I want to at least be able to have a voice and say, no, I ain't down with that. So if society really put their focus on God, then we had more rules in place, like, okay, a landowner and all of this stuff, then okay, maybe it can work. But right now, in a pretty secular society that isn't focusing on God and that has gone full clown world in a lot of ways, I don't trust giving up my vote.
Okay, so leftist Blondie says that women should vote because chickens are more precious than fetuses. And Melanie, you're saying women should vote because Muslims and atheists threaten all of us in the country. Leftist Blondie,
yes.
Would you? So then, therefore, leftist Blondie, you. Sorry, I've got to point that way. You are on the side of Melanie. You both think that women should vote, but you don't fear Muslims and atheists.
No, I'm not really generally scared of Muslims, not in the U.S. at least. I may feel different if I lived in the Middle East, but
they're not the most
certainly not scared of atheists.
Muslims in my
Right.
so maybe the idea is maybe we enfranchise the Muslims, and then the Muslims, they have a lot of kids and they spread out all over the place. They've already taken over several towns in the United States, and then they are the ones
Like
who repeal the 19th
right?
Amendment. Kind of. Yeah, right now it's a small replacement, but it could, I guess if they're very fecund, they could have a great replacement, and then when they come into power,
but they are replacing the UK. They're doing well replacing other Western countries, right? Other Western nations. I think that because of the size of America, they're having a harder time with it, and we do push back better than the UK, but I think that's their goal.
I don't think there's a lot of women's suffrage in Muslim countries.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Muslims replacing me. That's very strange. I don't know if we're like the superior
That's
culture,
like
like we
statistically
can be so
happening.
easily
The Great
replaced.
Replacement theory is real, and it's backed up by data, and there's government documents. You can literally go read about it, and it's
Right.
literally happening. Look at the UK, and then
what
look
are
what's here.
And the
A
Democrats
bunch of
brag
white
about it, too.
people are too busy sterilizing themselves, having abortions, taking SSRIs, being single, being girl bosses. And
You know
that's
the
happening.
countries
All the
where
coming here, and they're popping out 50 babies. Look at the Somalians. It's like
Yeah, I don't really care, but conservative feminism is quite crazy. Real men give me free abortions. Female approved male actions towards female sensibility, pretty much. Yeah.
that is very real and happening.
Thank you. One of my favorite shirts. The 10th Doctor, the best doctor ever.
you know where the white women are the happiest? Take a guess.
Seriously, white women the happiest? There are studies to show white liberal women are the unhappiest group, right? In the US, white liberal women are the unhappiest.
Guess what countries?
Where?
Are you gonna check yourself in?
Well, where are white women the happiest?
Okay.
Wait, leftist Blondie.
Where are women the
Where are white women the happiest?
Muslim countries. Okay, so you prove my point.
White-
There happens to
it's not
countries
Muslim
where the
countries,
rights are
take it
taken
on the
away, so
yes.
we should take away the right to vote.
So where are the white women the happiest? I
countries-
want to know.
The countries where white women are the happiest are the countries where women are more equal to men,
What are
and they
those
also have greater reproductive rights. Switzerland, Norway, Sweden, all the Nordic countries.
Oh, like
Like-
hegemonically white countries. Okay, all right.
Hegemonically white countries. no diversity, almost no diversity at all, right? Small amount of diversity. White women are happiest in countries with the least amount of diversities.
Well, I don't think I want to take that one.
Are we talking about Great Replacement, or are we talking about voting and
No,
whether or not you should vote?
You brought in
Or have
race. You're the
access
one
to
who says
reproduction.
white women are only happy in the whitest countries in the world. I was just talking
I
about voting.
didn't say.
I don't want any part
This
of
is a
that.
straw man. I think that's incredibly dishonest coming from the right.
It's not. It is true. You named literally white countries. You named predominantly white countries. It's not a straw man. That's exactly what you said. You named predominantly white countries. And you said these are the countries where women are the happiest, right?
That's what I'm claiming, is that white women are only happiest in these white countries.
That's
I'm
what
not
you
saying
just
that they're only
said. I didn't
happy
make
in
you
those
say that.
countries. I'm saying that the correlation with women being able to vote and have reproductive choices makes them happier. And that's backed up by data. That's actually backed
Women
up
can
by
vote in a
data.
lot of countries. You're the one who said they're only happy in the white countries.
Gang raping them like they are in the Islamic country.
Do you think that I think that women in Afghanistan are happy?
No, because you think they're only happy in the white countries. Okay, so on women's happiness, I want to. I just want to point out. So over the 20th century, you had this rise in feminism. In the early 20th century, you get the 19th Amendment and the first wave of feminism. Then you get the second wave of feminism, this explosion in the 1960s. Then we had the third wave in the 90s. Now we're in like the 57th phase or something. But there was a strange study. Apropos of our conversation about women voting and whether these supposed rights have actually made them.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. I'm just going to watch 2 videos of women debating each other. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Better off. There was a study that came out of Yale, I think it was 2008. It was called The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness. And it found that during the rise of feminism, women became less happy. Now, men also became less happy, but women became even less happy than the men did. So the Yale study viewed this as a paradox. They said women should be so much happier because feminism's on the rise. And now they're single and they work in the widget factory for Mr. McGillicuddy and they vote and they say,
White liberal women, right, are the least happiest, right? They're the least happiest group, least happiest demographic. Women are the most, hopped up on drugs, right? Antidepressants, some of the forms of, mental disorder medicines. They're hopped up on drugs. They are absolutely depressed. So yeah, if you could compare the depressed women of the West compared to, I don't know, women of like Palestine or whatever, yeah, no duh.
Around and they can kill the kids and it should be so great. But then it turned out they got really unhappy during exactly that period of time. So wouldn't that be an argument against the various feminist policies, potentially all the way up to including suffrage?
Well, there's a problem here with correlation and causation, and I'm sure you understand that as a college graduate yourself, that not only like something just existing at the same time doesn't mean that thing causes the other thing.
It doesn't
Ice
mean
cream
it, but it
sales
does
go up
raise
in
your
the
eyebrows.
summer.
It doesn't mean it
ice
doesn't
cream
mean it
sales.
doesn't.
Okay, well then take this example and raise your eyebrows at this. Ice cream sales go up in the summer, so does violent crime. Is ice cream sales correlated now with violent crime? Of course not. These things are separate.
No, but I guess the distinction between this comparison of violent crime and ice cream and the point that I'm making is that we're studying, on the one hand, additional political licenses and rights given to women and new social opportunities given to women and how women are feeling about their state in life. So those two things are intrinsically related, whereas violent crime and ice cream have nothing to do with each other.
Intrinsically related?
Yeah. What women
all you're
do
doing
and
is
how
begging the
women
question,
feel
and that
are
it's causing it.
intrinsically related.
All you're doing is begging the question.
I'm not begging
All
the
you're doing is
question.
begging
I'm
the
making an
question that is
observation
true.
that habit
You are
and feeling
assuming that
relate
is
to each
true
other.
when that's what's
This is the straw man thing, right? Where she makes an absurd, right, comparison to literally invalidate his logical opinion, right? This is what they do. This is what the left do all the time. They will make an absurd, smart analogy or whatever to try to invalidate, weaken your argument, weaken your logic. But when your logic is, you try to make it as, as logical as possible, as, in my opinion, okay, as, I would say understandable, right? Because he's true, right? Increasing women's rights, right? Increasing women's rights, giving women more opportunities. You would assume, right, that would affect how women feel, right? Those would correlate to each other, right? It may not be a direct causation, true, because there's no study to say, oh, this happened and did this happen? No, but it's a logical assumption, right? Logical assumption that these two most likely are related, okay? Or could be related, right? If you give women more things, will they be happy or not? If during the time you're giving women more things, the same time they are increasing in unhappiness, right? You can bring up the assumption that, you know what, one may, equal the other or cause the other. You can't say ice cream and then violence. How can you even make a logical sense that could even compare to each other, that they could even cross paths to each other? This is the idiocy of a lot of leftist arguments or counter arguments, right? Because they try to invalidate your opinion by making an absurd, stupid analogy or stupid, ridiculous comparison, right? Because if they do that, it makes it seem like what you did was also the same level as theirs. That is such an underhanded thing.
Dispute. You're assuming that that's true, and that's
I'm
what's
not
in
just
dispute.
assuming that. I'm explaining why those two things are related. The things that I do during my day are directly related to the way that I feel, whereas an ice cream cone and a murder are very likely not related at all.
You could get an ice cream cone and then go commit a murder. What the are you talking about?
Ice cream does not make people commit murder. That's my case. I don't want to be guilty
feminism,
of,
and I disagree that feminism causes people to be unhappy. So make the case that that's the
Melanie.
case.
Oh, are you kidding me? Feminism has created individuality, right? Feminism is what created, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need no man, right? I could literally create you a causation. I could really create you a correlation, right? You don't need no man. You are alone. You're single. You hit the wall. You're childless. You have no husband. That can equate, right? That can equate to women's unhappiness. Feminism caused that. Literally. This is Alan, what is up? What is up, my brother? What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. How long you think you're gonna stay on the show for? I'll probably I usually stay on until 10:30, maybe around 11. I remember you said you wanted to have a debate with something that you change your mind or whatever on. I'm definitely want to talk, right? If you ever want to stop up, come up.
Yeah, I feel like she was just going on about how, women in countries where they can have abortions are happier. And I feel like that's that's inaccurate as well. It's not the abortions that are making these women happier. Women who have abortions, most of them experience trauma, and it messes them up. So this is a whole psyop to make women vote for something that actually hurts them and that benefits men who can sleep with women without committing to them and without marrying them or taking care of them. So all it is, it just benefits men.
I mean, that's just
it benefits women and lets men use women for their bodies. That's all it's about. And especially if you look at the history of abortion and all of that kind of stuff,
Feminism has not helped women out. Great, they can have abortions. Doesn't make them doesn't make them happier. Great, they can have work. They can have a job. Great. Having a job doesn't make women happier. Okay. It doesn't. To be honest, I see no stats to say that it makes women happier. Right? Yes, it may give them more financial freedom, but again, women, the mental load that it gives to women, it doesn't seem like it's producing a whole bunch of happiness in women. Okay, and let's be honest. Okay, a lot of people negate this, where there's a bit of a difference between a career and a job. I'm not saying most people, but I'm saying a lot of people are not always the happiest, just a job, right? It's just something to do. It's just something that you do for living. Okay. It doesn't necessarily equate happiness. I think it's been proven, right? I mean, I believe there's certain studies that women enjoy more with connections, i.e., with people, right? So I believe, I mean, it could be wrong, but they find there's more women that find happiness with family than not.
A lot of it was because men wanted to be able to sleep with women, and then they somehow were able to manipulate women into thinking that it's good for women to abort their babies because these men don't have to take responsibility for sleeping with women and using their bodies.
Fact check true.
Look, we can paint abortion out to be this thing that traumatizes every single woman and that no woman should ever do because some women experience trauma out of it. But 95% of women think that the abortion after the fact was the right decision for themselves.
But that number is different from abortion regret. You're right that a very high number of women who have abortions go on to say, I stand by my decision, I think it was the right decision. But a very large number, I think it's in the 60s, but I don't know the exact statistic, do say they experience some form of regret or trauma or difficulty. So those two things can be true at once. You can say, I found this very traumatic, but it was still the right decision. That's how the statistics kind of lie about it. Regardless, though, to Melanie's point,
I love that he did that. I love that Michael Knowles did that, where he said, yeah, okay, you said something right, but got to clarify it. I love that.
what she's saying is, look, women have voted for all these things. Women got the right to vote. They voted for all these things like abortion. These things have made them unhappy at a personal level. And I mean, unless you're unwilling to say that any social phenomena can have a causative relationship, I think we would have to say that probably there's a little bit of causation there. And so therefore you'd say, what's the good of voting? What's the good? If it's made even the women, the people it was intended to help unhappy, what's the point? What good did you get out of it? You got to pull a lever in a voting booth?
This is still a classic question begging. I don't agree to the conclusion, and you're assuming the conclusion. Let's step back, because I'm not begging the question, but You are.
Is it the case that women have become less happy over the last 60 years?
Yes, but that's not sufficiently explained by feminism.
Why have they become less happy?
We actually talked about this already. I think it's social and wealth inequality.
Why are they less happy?
And the rise of
men?
hyper-individualism.
Why have they become even less happy than men? Men just don't care.
Well, why have
about
men
health
become
inequality?
unhappy? That's a more important question to look at, is why have men also become...
I get off of work in half an hour, but I could get on after, even if it's for a little. Yeah, I'm down. Alan, I love talking to you, my brother. So when you get off of work, I'm up here.
But that's not the
Is it
question.
also
I'm asking.
feminism?
Why? That's not the question I'm asking.
Is it also...
Dodging the question. This is the problem. Oh, why are men unhappy? Do you really care? I'm sorry. Do left really care? I don't think so.
Why have the women in particular become unhappy, coincidentally, exactly over the period of the rise of feminism? Why do you
Well,
reject my answer, which is that it probably has something to do with feminism? So what's your answer?
Why would feminism disproportionately make women unhappy?
Because
If
it's
feminism
a false
is this type of liberation...
I'll answer your question. Because it's a false anthropology that makes mistakes about human nature, and it tells women that the only way for them to flourish is to pretend to...
Love it. See you then, my brother. Exactly. Feminism is hyper-individualism. Exactly. And I'm going to be honest. I've said this countless times before. I think feminism has poisoned many other countries. You're seeing the results of feminism in South Korea, in Japan, in China, which is crazy, but you're seeing it, okay? You're seeing the results of feminism in all of these countries. It's not making the country better. It's not making women happier, okay? A lot of people thought that, okay, women entering the workforce is going to be great for them. It hasn't, right? Women entering the workforce actually hasn't been a net benefit for women, because it made wages go down for them, so they're earning less. It's made things more expensive, okay? So really, it hasn't been a net benefit for women entering the workforce.
Be like men with whom they are indiscernible. So it says that men and women are...
Exactly. Why does she suddenly care? The left doesn't care. These people are very annoying. I kind of agree.
identical and indiscernible rather than what they actually are, which is complementary. And so by telling women to behave exactly as men, you are acting contrary to nature. And because of that, women will flourish less and be less fulfilled.
I bet you can do something like look at modern feminist philosophers and ask them if they truly think that there's zero differences between men and women, which we've already also talked about. I don't think that there's zero differences between men and women, nor do I think men are women. So I think that you doing this thing where you cherry pick certain feminists and then you go cherry pick certain feminists and then you go, oh, well, it's part of a core thing about feminist philosophy that you must think that men and women are the same. And then this is the thing that causes women to be somehow more depressed or more unhappy than men are. Well, wouldn't that also work the same way and apply also to men?
Because men have also become less happy, but because...
Oh, why not at the same rates? Like feminism is the cause. Feminism affects everybody.
Because it does affect.
Here's the thing where I think the difference is men can find the butterfly tattoo. Men can find contentment with loneliness. Men don't love it, but men can find contentment with loneliness, right? Men can deal with isolation. Now, not a good thing, right? It's not like men love it, but men can deal with it, right? Men can deal with isolation. Men can deal with not having a family, not having a wife, not having kids. Men don't love it. I'm not saying men do, right? Men don't desire it. Men can deal with it. Plenty of men just become stoic, isolate them, I mean, like go to their cabin in the woods, right? Go to the cabin in the woods, shit like that. So men are unhappy, but there are men at a certain point, they can just deal with that unhappiness.
Everybody, and it's been bad for everybody, but feminism tells women in particular to act in a way that is contrary to their nature, in a way that it doesn't exactly tell men to act contrary to their nature.
Wait, you don't think that's not even true? You don't even believe that? You don't even believe that? You really think that, because I hear this from you conservatives all the time, that you think that feminism is the thing that caused the feminization of men over the last 50 years. You don't believe that?
I think a lot of that's the soy and the veganism.
Okay, so you do think that it has come the same way.
Yeah, I don't think it's just.
Well, here's the thing. No one says that. I mean, Noel probably said that. I got to rethink it. But yeah, feminism has affected men, right? Feminism has, in my opinion, increased the feminization of men. I agree. But again, right? The thing is that you got to think, okay? The masculinity of women causes women to be alone. The masculation of women has caused women to be alone. Guess what? Women are not made to be alone. Women are not made to be alone. It's not within their nature. Women are very social creatures. Women are very social. So with women experiencing loneliness because of their masculinity, right, thanks to feminism, it's a detriment to women. But guess what? The feminization of men, even though it's a detriment to men can be not a good thing, right? Men don't desire it. Men are not happy about it, but they can suffer in silence. They can suffer alone, right? If men are too feminized to attract a mate, well, guess what? Literally, men have created a movement to just opt out of dating, right? MGTOW. Men literally just like, hell with it. I'm just going to be alone for the rest of my life and straight up do it, right? I'm not saying they're necessarily happy about it, but men can be alone, right? Because in my opinion, men have better hobbies than women, right? Men have better hobbies than women, more fulfilling hobbies, cars, sports, comics, movies, you name it, right? Fighting, like sports of any kind. It's like men have more like hobbies to distract them compared to women. Men are more thing oriented. Women are more people oriented, right? But their masculinity stops women from actually, creating, right, a community around them. While men, some feminizing of men or isolation of men, it doesn't stop men from doing hobbies.
I think it's everything they're like poisoning men with, and I also think women have like also aggressively like shamed men for so long that it's like inherently made them very feminine. It's like, I see girls like, if you don't support abortion. I can't be with a man like you. If you like open a door, if you hit on me, if you ask me out, you're like creepy. And then they're like going on dates and it didn't go well and they put out, then they feel bad after. Now all of a sudden the guy's a rapist. So I think it's like a mix of all those things. It's not good for either. But also, can we just use like common sense as someone who was on the left and is not probably as far right as you can go? Do I enjoy work? Does it fulfill me? No. Does it make me be? No. My lovely boyfriend and my dogs and hopefully children one day, that is like, that's the dream. I love that. That brings me happiness. Do you think me and Priya talk about how much we love our jobs and it's so happy, or me and any of my friends? No, every single woman I talk to is like, I hate working. It sucks. I can't wait to find a good man, and I can't wait to be mom because that's majority.
It's like one. I'm not saying there are no exceptions. It's like 1 out of 500. I agree. It's like 1 out of 500 women is a Margaret Thatcher type, but 499 out of 999 out of 1,000 is exactly with you, Emily. That's the case. And to your point, Leftist Blondie, if you say, no, Michael, you misunderstand feminism. You miss the invisible ink in Mary Wollstonecraft or Simone de Beauvoir, Betty Friedan. Really, the feminists say that men and women are quite different. Then you say, okay, well then why do we need to extend the exact same political rights to women that we do to men? I thought that was your original premise.
That's like saying, like, well, if white people and black people are different in certain cultural ways or things like that,
but I don't think
why should we extend the same? Why should we extend the same? Why should we extend the same rights to them? You
because
could take that about any significant group. You could take that. Wait, but you're missing the point here. We could take somebody who's disabled, somebody who's wheelchair bound. Someone who's wheelchair bound is significantly different from somebody who's not wheelchair bound.
No, I just.
I'm not surprised you believe that. I'm not surprised you believe that, man.
We should start excluding them politically.
I think that
you don't think that somebody.
No, I think that look, all individuals are different to a certain degree, but I think that the difference between men and women as categories is much, much greater, almost immeasurably greater than the difference between an Italian guy and a black guy and a Jewish guy and a guy missing an arm and a guy in a wheelchair. I think that difference, that sexual difference, is really the fundamental distinction within human nature, whereas racial differences are a little more difficult to nail down.
Such that it would exclude someone from voting, or should exclude someone from voting?
Well, listen, I'm just listening to you ladies. I'm trying to get your opinions. I haven't voiced an
opinion.
So
there's
I'll give you my opinion at the end. I'll give you my opinion at the end of this.
Right.
Priya, you've been very ladylike in your silence and demurring in this conversation. However, has Leftist Blondie convinced you at all?
No, not remotely. If anything, she's radicalized me even more to oppose the 19th Amendment, I think. But no, I mean, she's sitting here saying that feminism doesn't inherently argue that men and women are equal and have no differences at all. But they don't need to make that argument to essentially advocate for exactly that. And that's all feminism is. And it erodes the family, which is the fundamental political unit. So if you take away everything that society is supposed to stand on, I don't know what we're even arguing for.
Yeah, this was the argument. This was the argument from the anti-suffragettes, from all those ladies who said,
exactly.
This is giving women something that we do not want. This is upending our political order. This is a threat to the family. We've seen many other threats to the family and attacks on the family, the redefinition of the family in recent years. So I have a solution. Bring her my solution. My solution
Let's hear it.
I agree one is not going to repeal the 19th Amendment generally. And nor maybe should we. To your point, Melanie, we live in a pretty degenerate culture right now. So I don't know that would necessarily be good. But I don't think that voting is a good per se. I don't think the framers and the founders thought voting was a good per se. In fact, the president was elected by an electoral college in the early years of our republic, not by popular voting. Senators were elected by the states. And so this idea that individuals universally going out and voting is as American as apple pie is totally revisionist history. What I would do, because I do want the nuns to vote, because they vote for Republicans. And I do want married women to vote. They vote Republican. So here's what I would do. Without removing a single woman vote, what I would do is...
You always wonder, right? Married women, which are family-oriented, nuns, like he's saying, right? Religious people, which are not in numbers, right? Not as degenerate, right? Vote one way, while the single people, usually single women, and usually degenerates, vote the other way. Which way you think is more sound?
take away the votes from the single women, and I know there are going to be plenty of conservative single women, but just generally speaking, the single women vote for Dems and the married women vote for Republicans. So I'd take all the votes from the single women, even though some of them are Republicans. When they get married, they'll become conservative. They'll get their vote again. I'd make an exception for nuns who are married to God, and I would give them 2 votes. And then all the single women would have no votes whatsoever. The men would keep their 1 vote, and therefore the families would get 3 votes, and the single people would get no votes, and we would live in utopia.
Utopia? I don't think it's utopia.
You really don't get that.
I've thought about it a long time.
That does sound pretty great, but I think a really practical solution is that it's on us, as those of us who are Christians, to share the word of God and to make disciples and to be fishers of men, because if we really just have to rise up as a nation, we have to turn to God, and we have to call to him for help, and we have to seek him. And so the more of us and the more Christians that we make, that we bring back to Christ, then the more we can get focus on God's plan, and that's the only way that we'll be able to thrive as a nation. It's focusing on God.
So how do we do that? I mean, I can't. This one, I'm pretty confident of the causation relationship between feminism and female unhappiness. I'm less confident of this one, but religiosity has declined since the 19th Amendment.
Yeah,
that might be a stretch.
I think the
but,
best.
So how do we get back to it? How do we get back to?
Yeah, I mean, how we get back to it is we stand against.
Because here's the thing, like I said, individuality, right? Like Ethan pointed out, right? Feminism equals individualism. How can you be a feminist? Right? How can you logically be a feminist and be religious at the same time? Religion promotes community and family, right? They don't promote you as an individual, okay? They promote you as a family unit and as a community. You should think about the greater good, not about yourself. It is antithetical to, feminism. So no duh, since the rise of feminism, you see the decrease of religious people, right? And I think that's a detriment, right? I think one of the things that made America more proper, more morally sound is having a bigger religious population. Now, I'm not big on pushing, you should have 100% a religious country. I don't think so, right? I don't want a Muslim country, right? Where people practically 90% of the country are religious. I think that's crazy, right? In my opinion. But I definitely think a majority should be, right? 51%, 60% should be, right? As in, like, practically all white people should be.
This hippie Christianity, and we stand against all of this.
I think she recently converted, right? In the last, I don't think she started as a Christian, right? I think she recently converted. So that's what, she like the tats and the stuff. Yeah, but I think she recently did it, right? So I think in the last couple years to maybe, why not say this?
It's like this modernized version of Christianity that's just meant to make Jesus into some hippie, and that makes the Bible conform to current societal standards. And we need to be able to just really dive into the Bibles and look at it and say, hey, this is the way things work. We try to conform the Bible to our ways, and things all go to trash, and you've got pride parades and people cutting off genitals and things like that. So let's focus on God's order, and then on us as
the final level of 3 or 4.
Be sharing calling out sin, and we need to be calling people to repent. And if we share the word of God, faith comes by hearing the word. So as people hear it, then the Holy Spirit will take over from there, and we have to do our part with sharing.
Okay, well, I agree with that so much in theory, but I see a political problem here, which is that seems to assume this libertarian view that the politics is entirely downstream of culture, and so you just gotta change hearts and minds, and that's how you change the political order. But I think there's also an ancient and even Christian understanding that the law is a teacher. St. Paul tells us that too. And so the political order itself will change people's mind, will to some degree cultivate habits of virtue. And we live in this very degenerate culture now that promotes all sorts of weird sex stuff and killing babies and opening borders and not forcing the law and all. So don't you need a shock to the political system? Don't you need a serious reform that might begin to change those hearts and minds? And in our current system, how are we supposed to get that?
Yeah, I think we need that too. I don't think anybody has any business being in office if they're not a Christian. And I think that we do need to have more laws that are Christian laws. Like, we need to put a stop to the gay marriage. We need to put a stop to a lot of this stuff, the abortion and all of these things. And I think these things need to be implemented. Like, it's on us as Christians to bring other people to Christ. But then also, just as a nation, we're not going to thrive if we are catering to degeneracy. So as a nation, I believe that we need to have Christian laws as well.
Leftist Blondie, would you go along with that plan? Women get to keep the vote, even the liberal single women, so long as there's a religious test that only Christians can serve in government?
No.
Of course you would not.
Fascist. That's not
Okay.
Not everything is
Right.
fascist. I agree the religious test is going to be hard, but you wouldn't go along with that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you feel the same way about Islam, then if Muslims are coming in the troves that they're coming in, then they should be able to make the same parity argument to you.
No, because
They
we're
can
a
be
Christian
Christian too,
nation.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
are founded as a
No,
Christian nation.
they're
and we are
gonna
a
make the
Christian
same
nation.
argument, but from Islam. I think it's quite ironic saying like liberals are painting Jesus out to be this hippy dippy woo woo whatever thing, and you're sitting here like covered in tattoos and like a cross necklace and colorful hair. I just want to point that out. It's not very
Okay.
traditional
Yeah.
Christian.
What's your point? What's your point?
And so
Well, what
just
point
the
is that
irony
supposed to
not lost
mean?
on me.
Where's the irony? Can you explain?
Wait, I
Well, the
want to
irony
know.
is calling.
Can you?
100%. 100%. All right. Unpopular opinion: America is too consumeristic and individualistic for religion. They will turn it into a mall. 100%. That's why there was a time, right, during our manufacturing years, right, when America was producing, right, when America was more family oriented, more community oriented. That was when they were probably very religious. 100%. When America stopped producing and started consuming, when America destroyed the family unit and became very individualistic, 100%. Again, it's very definitely. I agree. Definitely, the whole individualism is anti-religion. 100%. Not an unpopular opinion here.
Explain the problem with my color hair and
Leftist
can you
Blondie,
explain
leftist
how
Blondie,
I
leftist
think
Blondie,
you're
leftist
a
Blondie.
Christian? Can you explain?
No, I think tattoos are great. I think tattoos are great. I think
Okay,
they
like
look
how
nice.
does that
I
make
think
me not a
color hair
Christian?
looks nice.
Where's the
But
irony?
traditionally, people like Michael Knowles on his team would call you a heretic for dressing like that and then calling yourself a Christian.
I would never call her a heretic for dressing like that. We'll have to get into our discussions.
He's
of
had me on the
justification,
show multiple
sanctification.
times, so
Yeah. I love Melanie's
I was
style.
more interested in the
I think-
features than the way she looks.
Yeah, so hold on. We've now degraded the political order to such a degree that only appearances matter. We're not even discussing what goes
yeah,
beneath
it's
the
just
skin. Look, ladies, you've radicalized me.
That's just funny.
A final word, Priya.
No, I mean, I liked your point, Michael. I think we need to reorder society in a way that we, yes, put God at the forefront, but also so that we take out this hyper individualism that we have. Just
Here's my unpopular opinion, right? I'm neither white nor religious, but I'd rather live in a predominantly white religious country than not. That is my unpopular opinion. I'm neither white nor am I religious, but I'd rather live in a predominantly white / religious or / white Christian nation than not. Right? I think white people have made so many amazing countries, so many amazing nations. And here's the thing, right? The history may be ugly, but at the end of the day, winners are winners. I'm sorry. What can I say, right? Winners are winners. Like it, hate it. It's up to you. But it shows with, it shows how life is. Okay. So,
infested in every aspect of our our society today.
Well, look, I've been radicalized by all of you, and it's a real white pill that these young, violent women are thinking in this way. That's more right wing than like the fattest, baldest conservative of 1995. And I feel great, and I would very happily and tactically give 3 of the 4 women on this panel 20 or 30 votes each, 20 or 30,000 votes each in every election, actually. But I won't say which is which. Ladies, wonderful.
I definitely agree. Ethan, I definitely agree. White people are the victors of the last 500 years, but they're slacking now 100%. And here's the thing, sad to say, but white people are their own worst enemy. It isn't because of black people. It isn't because of minorities. It isn't because of immigrants. White people are the problem. I'm sorry. It's like, I already said it, right? I'm neither white nor am I Christian, but I'd rather live in a predominantly white Christian nation. But the problem is white people have become the very problem. White liberal women are the worst. They're what's destroying our beautiful nation. But what can I say? What can I say? And you don't have the white man keeping these white women in check, right? The white man ain't keeping these women in check.
Hello, my dear.
Okay. I think I might have another video after this. We'll see. Because I want to stay a bit longer, up longer to, you know, if Alan comes on, so we could talk to him a little bit. White men's passivity and white women unkept craziness is definitely going to bite them in the back. Exactly. I'm sorry. 100%. This is the problem, right? I think here's the thing, right? White men have experienced so much guilt, right? White men are suffering from so much white guilt, right? Because of slavery, because of sexism. So white man has become, in my opinion, very, very passive, okay? Very passive. So they're letting their white liberal women destroy the world. At the same time, while white men have become extremely passive, white women have become, they've taken up the role, right? They've become very masculine, very crazy. That's the problem we're facing. That's the problem we're facing. All right, talking about women's unhappiness, let's check this one out.
The graduates are really not okay.
I don't care what anybody says, a college degree is useless. I said what I said. Like, it's useless. You're telling me that I'm going to apply to all these jobs.
I love it. I love it. You better not, my brother. Right? No white guilt here. I don't give a shit about that. No white guilt here.
Pay a ton of money for this piece of paper that's not even going to work.
A realization I've had to come to terms with is that I went to school, worked full time, and got a full 4-year bachelor's degree, and it ain't do nothing for me.
After wrapping up.
Correlation, maybe causation, right? The beauty of feminism. How is it? See, this is the thing where we're seeing right now. How has feminism actually been a net benefit for women? Please tell me how. You can abort your baby? Great for you, right? Great. You don't have to marry a man? Amazing. How's that even a net benefit, right? How is that a net benefit for people? For civilization? How is that a net benefit? That's a net benefit for you as an individual, but a very sad benefit, right? You can kill babies, right? Have indiscriminate sex with men you either don't want or who don't want you. Great, right? And then abort babies because you don't want to take up the responsibilities of your stupid actions. Awesome, right? Awesome. And now you don't have to marry men, and you go out into the real world to spend money on a degree you don't even get a job from.
Thousands in debt, spending years of their life on their education. Many of them are still struggling to find work.
Oh my God, exactly. Yo, Ethan, we are like mentally linked. Exactly. Right? Feminism is a co-op, right? It is co-op by corporations and government. More bodies, right? In the factories, right? More bodies in the factories, more huger consumers, right? When women enter the workforce, well, more money and more people to tax. More people to tax, more like people to put out as a workforce. That is why, because of feminism, we have decreased our population. Now feminism is useless. Now women in the workforce is useless to corporations. That's why they're trying to bring in illegal immigrants, bring in immigrants.
You think about it, it's actually so crazy because so many young people were sold this dream that if they worked really hard in school and they got the right grades, then that was essentially the key to success in life.
You know, it's a six-figure salary. Hey, pick a neighborhood. You want to live there? Buy a house. Wow, you're having your dream wedding. Here, have an investment property.
And it's so unfair because when you consider the insane amount of pressure that a lot of young people are under.
Yo, Ethan, you're Asian? My brother. I love it. I love it. My Asian brother. Yo, AJ, what is up, my brother?
What's going on, man? I heard useless college degrees and I had to show up, you know?
I love it. I love it. I know your opinions on it.
Did I ever tell you my brother's ex-girlfriend? So she went to Howard on a full ride scholarship, right? Majored in education, that strike one, right? Then she she's a black woman. She met a guy who was a doctor. So he was doing his residency. So he was done with med school. He proposed to her senior year. And then he was going to do his residency in Connecticut. Then she found out she got into Columbia. So she had a choice. She could go to Columbia in New York, or she could marry a doctor. What do you think she did?
Columbia.
Exactly. She went to Columbia to major in education and graduated with $150,000 in student loan debt.
Oh. Do you know what her after story is? Do you know if she, I don't know, does she have the education career now?
No. So she was working 3 jobs to try and pay off all of her student loans. And then she was going to join the military, right? Because she was like, well, the GI Bill is going to pay off a good chunk of my loans. Now, if you had a master's degree from one of the best colleges in America or in the world, would you go to officer school or would you enlist?
Officer school?
Yes.
I don't know. I never really. I mean,
well, you know how there's officers, there's lieutenant, commander, and then there's grunts, right? There's grunts. She enlisted because she's like, oh my God, I just need to get in now. So she enlisted in the military. She started out like an E2 instead of a second lieutenant, first lieutenant.
Thanks to her degree, she didn't move. She instead of
so she's sitting there with people fresh out of high school, right? And then she's complaining about her job. So what happened was she got tired of the Navy and was like, I'm trying to get out. So she was trying to join the chaplains program and become a chaplain so you can get out early. So she's like asking my brother if he can write her like a letter, a recommendation to become a chaplain. He's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, look, I'm not religious, but there's, some type of bad place for people who write a fake letter for the chaplaincy in the military. You know what I'm saying? So she's
all over the place.
Yeah. It's a longer story, but these chicks, they drive their lives into a ditch. And what did Kevin Samuels say? Whenever they panic, they go back to school.
Oh yes. Exactly. Just gain more degrees. Absolutely idiotic.
Bachelor's, master's, underwater lesbian studies. You know what I mean?
I know so many women doing that, getting their masters, getting their PhD, but they're forever in school and get no job, no career. It's like, what's the point?
Well, there's no cap to how much debt that you can take out in graduate school. So oftentimes they'll keep these programs going for as long as possible, just so they can keep paying their rent and their LA apartment or or just so they don't have to get a job.
This is this is why I said, right? Feminism has made women stupid.
Yeah, and
women could get more degrees, but it just made them more idiotic
and useless degrees.
Yes.
And it's one big psyop, because when I started college in 2000 to when I graduated from grad school in 2009, because I took breaks, tuition went up like 240%. And because they pushed Gen X and older millennials into college, especially women, these women went and they keep going. See, men aren't going to college much anymore, and we're dropping out more and doing trades.
Yes.
But they wouldn't, if people just stopped going to college en masse, tuition prices would actually drop.
Exactly.
But women think that there was a video that I did. This chick said that because men will say, look, if I can go to Wyoming State on a full ride, fine. Either Wyoming State full ride or pay to go to Harvard. Men will go to the state school for free. Women will go to Harvard and be in debt because they want that status. They want that Ivy League status. It's nuts. So economically unattractive. That's what I call them. Any man would be an absolute fool to date seriously a woman who has this. DA, how old are you now?
I'm 42.
So we're about the same age. And Matt, look at your piece that you've built. Look at the investments and the money that you've made. Can you imagine letting one of these dunderheads into your life, in your financial situation?
I'm not taking on women's debt. No, I'm not taking on someone else's debt. No, that's crazy. Exactly. That's why I said any smart man definitely would not find that as a smart investment. Don't invest in women.
Cooked.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm just watching this clip, so this video. Let's check it out.
Get good grades and to go on to higher education and to pursue a degree, to the point where for years, for decades even, people who didn't want to do that, people who weren't interested in that, were actually stigmatized for it.
Pardon me? Is your boyfriend in school? Is he thinking about dropping out of school? Oh, he's a bum too. Well, let me tell you something. Further in life, you don't need an education. You can't even work at A&P without an education, okay? Everything is computerized. You're not going to know nothing. All you're going to be is bag lead in the street. But you know what? You need to have some respect for yourself and respect your mother.
There you go. There you go, right there.
Before you know what? You don't even know nothing. How old are you?
16.
16? You can't get to 10 when you're 16?
Now, I'm not one to brag, but
yeah, Alan, I can't wait to come up. What were you gonna say?
The early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you see these B-dubs? The early 90s is where things really, really went off the wall because Black women counted as a double minority, right? So this is why they got pushed in the middle of management and Black men were left behind. Okay. This is when you started seeing like Boomerang and all those movies where it was a strong and educated Black woman, and then she was always with some Black dude who was a bum, you know what I'm saying? Or always had to take it. This completely destroyed the, why was Uncle Phil such a rarity in media? Because he was an educated Black husband.
Yes.
He was the only one on television. You had Carl Winslow, but he was a police officer. But they were the only two fathers on television after the Cosby Show ended, because all the rest of them were this Black man is shiftless and lazy. And this is where this came. Well, this is when the Black women in HR, the Black women at the DMV, the Black women in all these positions, this is where this came from, and this is where this started, was in around 90 to 93. But the issue is that white women benefited the most from affirmative action, and then Black women were next. Because why wouldn't we want to fill two parts of a quota at the same time? Right?
Exactly.
We have to do 12 minority hires. We could hire 6 people and fill the quotas, right? So we hire Keisha and Octavia. So that's where this image of Black men are blankety blank. But if you look at the statistics, Black men out-earn Black women everywhere except for like that $45,000 to $55,000 range. But other than that, we out-earn them in every other strata. And even though there's less of us working, there's less of us, period, right? We're worth more net worth. We have more savings and retirement. And that's from blackdemographics.com. That's Black statistics for Black people by Black people. DA, you should pull that site up when you do your videos about Black people. Because,
I'll save that up.
Yeah, because that is actually by Black political think tanks that actually say, look, these are the real numbers. You know, we can talk about single moms, college. You actually see that 54% of Black men are single and childless. 30% are married. That means 16% of Black men are responsible for the 70% of bastard kids out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So this whole thing that you see here, where it's funny that she's saying, "Oh, you need education. Everything's computerized," but now AI is taking. Was it 80% of all the jobs that are threatened?
Oh, I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. So
this is the problem, right? This is the problem where women think that they can replace men with jobs. Well, guess what? You're being the jobs that women use to replace men. It's going to be replaced by AI.
Yes.
So, like, women are going to be out doing what now?
But if you're in a major city, guys, put in the chat. If you're in LA, DC, Seattle, how much it costs to actually get a plumber out to your house? You know how much they're charging nowadays, man? Yeah. And because there's a shortage, and there's no, unless they can build a robot that'll climb under your house.
Yeah, no,
bro. Shoot.
Yeah, I think blue collar jobs will be. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's going to be very hard for AI and robots to replace effectively.
Well, have you seen a Ford factory or even like a Tesla one? They still use like 80s and early 90s era robotics. They don't have like humanoid robots. They have a robot arm that welds or whatever. Now they have software that makes it more. That gives it more dexterity, yes. Or AI might be able to check and see, like, oh, this is broken and move it, yes. But the technology is still the same as it was 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's not going to be cost effective. I can pay DA, $60 an hour to do said thing instead of spending $7 million on a robot that might break down. So it's just not cost effective. But my point is that I look at who's complaining about the job market and who isn't. Meta's getting cooked. Meta just got destroyed. There's like 10,000 layoffs.
Yeah.
All my friends that are truck drivers and electricians and plumbers, I don't see them complaining.
Exactly. There's a shortage. They need more.
They have the data center electricians make $260,000 a year starting out. They said that it's like an NFL draft. If you have those skills, it's like an NFL draft. Like they say, "Hey, DA, you can do data center electrician work. Where do you work now? How much are they paying you? I'll double it." You know what I'm saying? So like those guys make a lot of money, and they don't have student loan debt, right?
Exactly. I always promote. I think more men should like pick up trades. You don't have to get the huge amount of debt. You're already working, right? Like when you're young, you're working, making decent money while you're young. Yeah.
But even
definitely promote that.
If you look at this, right? I have a lot of friends that I work with who are lawyers and doctors and PhDs. So let's just say that like Evil in the chat, he does his electrician work, and by the time he's 21, he's working on his own. In the time that it took someone to finish med school, that's what, 9 years? He will have been working for those 9 years.
Yeah.
Building his skills, maybe even on the verge of starting his own business.
So many of them do. Yep. So many of them do.
Yeah, with no debt, right? And he can go work anywhere. Let's just say he goes, "Hey, look, I'm tired of Chicago. I'm gonna go to Phoenix. I'm gonna go to Miami." And there's plenty of work to be done. So this whole thing of where like my generation and yours, you remember growing up, people were like, "Oh, you're not going to college, you're a loser."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Just like what she's doing.
Yeah. I have a master's degree, guys, and I would not recommend any of you young guys go to college unless you're going to go for what? Science, technology, engineering, math, accounting, IT, and that's it. And even the biology doesn't count as STEM anymore because you got to have a PhD to make any cash. And honestly, that's because a whole bunch of women went into biology and watered the field down. You know?
Exactly.
So I have friends of mine who are bachelors in engineering who make more than PhDs in molecular biology. You know?
I agree.
So.
Yo, AJ, I'm going to be talking to Alan. I know you sometimes you get contentious with him.
Oh,
you want to stay on?
Yeah, I'm in a good mood today.
Okay, then let's go.
No.
I just want to make sure. I know
sometimes
you can get heated. I want you to be good.
No. He's good.
I know. Just all right. Alan, what is up? What is up, my brother?
Am I in, boys? What's going on, fellas? Shit, how you boys been?
You know, can't complain. You know, honestly, I can't. I think there's a friend of mine. He just got divorced, and he had met his wife like 16 years ago. And then when they first met, he said, "Do you want kids?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Do you want kids?" They both said yes, right? And then about 6 years into the marriage, she was like, "Well, I don't want to have kids, and I'm not a brood mare," and blah 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 blah. So they've been arguing for the last like 6 years about having kids.
She didn't want kids?
All of a sudden, she decided that she didn't want kids.
Ugh.
And that's the one thing you cannot compromise on. You can compromise on religion. You can compromise on politics. I've seen it. You can compromise on money. You cannot compromise on kids. And she didn't think that he'd leave, and he finally filed for divorce because he wants to be a father. You know what I mean?
I think that's disgusting. See, that's the thing where stories like that, it gives me my theory where I don't think women are good communicators, and I think women are more manipulators. They want men to change. They try to manipulate men to change. Right? They pick the man that they want, but he's not perfect. They will pick him and try to change him.
Yeah,
they're manipulators, not communicators.
Yeah, and the thing is once again, she couldn't really articulate why. I mean, here's the thing: if you don't want kids, don't have them. So for instance, I'm not having kids. I'm not. I just never wanted them, right? So that's fine, but at the same time, she didn't want him to leave. So it was like her way, and he was like not understanding that the compromise was the status quo. She's like, "Well, we can compromise by me getting my way." I'm like, "That's not compromise." Here's the thing: he's a PhD in engineering. He makes like $400,000 a year. So he did everything that you're supposed to do this, and you'll have a happy life and a wife and kids. And he just chose the wrong one. So now he's out there, and he's out there trying to date and do all this other stuff. But after 15 years, he separated, and yeah, it's tough, man. But I'm happy for him because I have another friend who's a woman, and her husband did that to her. She said no to kids, and then all of a sudden they both said no when they first met, and then he tried to change her mind, and she divorced him. So boundaries.
Yeah, so. I agree. How you been, Alan?
I've been all right, and that does suck. I'm sorry to hear that about your buddy. That's rough. I actually fully agree with you. That's just not a good situation. If you were wondering. Yeah, that blows. No, I'm just saying that. Yeah, I can't even. I don't know. Yeah, I feel for that guy. I'm wishing him well.
Have you ever been in like a friendship or like a relationship where that person just didn't respect boundaries at all, or just like the boundaries were like all over the place?
Yeah, no, 100%. You should see the girls that I date. It's I don't have I specifically greatest track record with the whole bound thing. So I will admit a good amount of it is it can be my fault. I'm good at expressing things. I'm good at using my mouth to communicate things, but I'm not so great at the subtle stuff. So it leads to some relationship strife.
Alan, can I give you one piece of advice?
Yeah, no, for real. No, give me some game before I get into my spiel.
No, here's the thing about good people is good people we try and find our fault, like what we try and figure out what we've done wrong, like to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be situations in life where it's like, bro, what you like, you can't victim blame yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like good people always go, well, something totally messed up can happen. You've probably been in the situation and you're like, well, I could have done this. It's like, bro, no, that's so not where you want to go. This person was like mad disrespectful.
It's especially for young people, I feel like that's kind of a hard, because I'll admit, I say it all the time, I am young. I do not know, I don't have the experience, right? Like I'm good at reading fast and talking fast, but I haven't experienced a lot of these things, right? So, a lot of young people kind of, I feel this, like, you just said, like, victim blaming yourself, like that mentality of like, what did I do, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's kind of hard. I'd actually say, you know what? I'd actually say it's harder on the fellas more than the women on that sort of that level. Specifically with like the way that the world, I don't know the greatest way of putting this, but yeah, that idea of, I'm not in my best right now, boys. Sorry. I'm trying not to ramble, but
Nah,
I'm getting there anyway because I can't really put into concise words. No, but like that idea of like, what did I do wrong compared to, were they just bad people? Was the relationships not worth it? Is like really daunting for a lot of people because they don't want to come off as, the aggressor, the one that didn't listen, the one that didn't understand. But at the same time, they don't want to come off as, like, oh, you're an ex-basher, you just can't take responsibility for your own faults. And it's hard line to walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but people think that, oh, well, she divorced you, so what'd you do?
Yes, I do agree. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's a lot harder for the men.
Cheated, it's his fault. My twin brother, he got divorced because he caught his ex cheating on him twice. He forgave her the first time, and then and he talks about, people will ask him, oh, you're divorced? What'd you do? He's like, whoa, like the default is to like say, hey, what did you do wrong? That's like the story that I told you about my friend and his wife who doesn't want kids. They assume that he's the one who didn't want to have kids, that he's the bad guy. It's like, well, why didn't your friend want to have a kid with his wife? I'm like, no, you did not just hear me. She was the one who was in the wrong. So there is like this kind of element where people do in relationships assume that the guy is the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we live in an interesting time, just from my perspective. Like, I think we live in an interesting like purgatory, of this, like, it's the man's fault, like, most often, because like it isn't. But I don't think that this period in history is really going to be seen as something set in stone, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of these like newer ideas, I'm just like, for example, like the rise in LGBTQ and DEI, like all these things, right? Like, you can make critiques about them all day long, and I have decent things to say about them as well sometimes, but like, I don't think that's going to be the normal, right? And so like, with the way that we look at divorces and blah 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 blah, but being by all these like relationship things that can be like seen on like a larger level than just like personal anecdotes, I think are skewed just because of the massive like social changes that are happening, right? So it's like, I think that will go down. I think that the idea that, what did you do? I think it's less so in my generation in general. I think a lot more people, I mean, obviously we are still young, so it's not like we've, gotten to the marriage divorce points, mostly just, breakups through text. But still, like that I think that there's a little bit more of a mutual respect, just on the idea. Unfortunate, yeah, but I think that it's good that they parted ways amicably, even though it's bad that it ever happened in the first place. You know what I mean? I think that's good. I think that having the option there was better.
Yeah, I think that.
Is anything that I'm saying making sense? Because it's
yeah.
Okay, because I feel like it didn't make sense in my mind.
I think the issue with your generation, and it started with my generation, is a whole speed running. So like, people used to think that our grandparents, because they didn't date, like dating is a product of like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Like, my grandparents didn't date. You know what I'm saying? Like, my granddad saw my grandma and said, "Hello, ma'am, how are you?" And then he went to her father and said, "Hello, I'm interested in courting your
Right.
daughter." And then
Right.
they
Well,
went out.
that's exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. But
It's
then,
literally
like,
exactly what I'm talking about.
dating happened in the 60s where all of a sudden they would go to the malt shop and they're going steady. It was all Hallmark to sell candies and chocolates and all stuff. But
Yeah.
but now it's like people will take like situationships, like their marriages or relationships, and get like all invested, and they'll break up. It's like, bro, you guys were only talking for like 2 or 3 months. And
Well, this
people
is what I mean by this like purgatory, this like limbo, because I don't think we've reached the final form of like information age personal relationships. Like I don't think that that's going to be the norm for very long. Because we've just seen like so much upheaval and like just genuine just like change, just social change, policy change, just in general about like the nature of relationships and marriage specifically. That it's like now that a lot of them have been kind of stripped down so quickly, I feel like we're not where we need to be in that era. And I'm not like pessimistic about it. I see a lot of people being very pessimistic about this idea of like these situationships, these young kids. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I get it. I mean, it isn't like a fun thing to hear about or to experience, but I don't really think it's that indicative of the generation. I think it's more indicative of just the opportunities arising right now that haven't been ironed out yet.
I think my issue, especially on the
I'm
woman's
just
side,
saying.
is that they make judgments, especially when it comes to like dating relationships. And guys, this started with the Black community, right? Like, so like we are the canary in the coal mine, right? So being Black, I don't usually date black women. I just don't, you know. I leave them all for DA, you know what I'm saying? That's his time, you know. But like, but as a Black man trying to date Black women, we have this weird. Black women have this thing where you date with one foot in the grave, right? So like, because all of our movies are struggle love, where he's cheating and she's cheating, and they're beating each other up. So the 2 or 3 Black women that I've been with, it was like a aggressive type war type courting. It's very strange. My point is like now, and even my sister's friends, they've never been cheated on. They've never had anything happen, but their friends said that it happened to their friend's friend, and they make generalizations about the majority of men. And now I think you see a lot of women of all groups say, well, you know, I would choose the bear because, you know, my friend said that her friend had this happen to her.
Still like, talking about the bear?
You've never. But I was using that as an example.
I know, but it's. I mean, it is silly.
But a lot of them don't. They've never seen negative treatment directly in their lives from said men, but they adopted this mindset, right? And it's like that's going to seriously influence your future prospects and having successful relationships if you're having future people pay for sins that they didn't even commit, you know? So yeah, I try and
you know what, you articulated that quite well, and I like totally get what you're saying. I do think that I would say that I generally disagree with like the assertion that it's going to lead to like wider problems down the road. I would bet my money that I think it's all probably going to be the same once people hit marriage age. Like I seriously, you know what I mean? I feel like
I think it's going to be worse.
For my generation, it's around like late 20s to 30. Like that's just where the trend's going. And obviously that's going up. I mean, like the average age for marriage goes up with every generation, and I think that's another thing that we shouldn't be. I think that was the thing that was just natural to happen.
I don't believe so.
I think
I
think the only. Well, I mean, 60s. I just let me introduce it like this, and then I do have a thing that I want to bring up to you guys, but this is an interesting conversation. I'm just saying, like, let me put it like this: like the generations before. I mean, not necessarily yours. What year were you born in, AJ? If you don't mind me asking.
1980. So I'm like right.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you're. I guess that's like Gen Xer, right? That's Gen X.
Like right at the end. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I mean, like the idea, I think that it's like a shame, like it's like this like unnatural happening that people are getting married at older ages. I think that if like the ideas of marriage and like I know you guys aren't a big fan of it, but like the more I guess classically feminist ideas of like women being more independent and having the option of going out and getting a career instead of just having to marry at college. I think if that happened in 1900, I think that this change would have already happened 50 years ago, and it would have evened itself out. We're just not there yet. We just haven't seen it even. That's my opinion, and I think that in my lifetime we will see it even.
Let me clarify two things. I have no problem with women getting careers. My mom is very successful.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I know. Trust me. I'm not saying
most women don't have careers. They have jobs. Most women work retail. Retail is the highest.
I mean, just jobs. I mean, like being able to get a credit card without having a male cosigner. It's kind of a big deal, right? That was at 1970. Like, I mean, like these are relatively recent things.
Incurred all the debt though. They could take out credit cards in their husband's name and walk away. There was women who would just marry a guy, put out $16,000-$20,000 in her husband's name, and walk out the door and do it again and again. Women.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm not even going to fact check that.
Is women have debt, right? I mean, women wanted credit cards, and now they have more debt than ever, right? They have most.
Everyone has more debt than ever.
But women own the majority of student loan debt. And here's the thing. This is where. Okay.
You think student loan debt is the same as like credit card debt? Would you put them in the same category?
Yes.
Like buying stuff at Target and not paying it back on time compared to taking student loans to get an education.
Because you can't declare bankruptcy for student loans.
No. And I don't know, it's like a global level. Yeah, sure. I do agree. Student loan debt is horrific. But I mean, like on a responsibility level, do you think that student loan, like a woman taking out $100,000 for student loans compared to a woman paying for $100,000 worth of shoes and not paying it back? Do you think that should be considered in the same category of debt to you?
Yeah. Yes. Because
you think so? You think so?
Yes.
Depending on the degrees, right?
Yes.
Thank you, women get useless degrees.
Yeah.
So if you get a STEM field, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If you get a doctor, a nurse,
and this is my point. This is what I'm getting into: is that the idea of women being able to actually push towards a career, and even get accepted into these high-end STEM schools, is a relatively modern idea, right? So, like you say that they have useless. I mean, yeah, it is.
Women have always gone to college. They just weren't allowed in the Ivy Leagues. Think of this. Why were there nurses in 1912 when nurses have always needed a college degree?
Nurses have not always needed a college degree. My favorite nurse right now, nurses have not always had to have a formal 4 to 6 year college degree.
Certificates too, but there were
certificates
college.
The majority of nurses also, this is interesting, but a good amount of like the nurses that you're probably talking about were certified during wars at a high pace. Yes. Like this is what you need. This is what you need. It wasn't like I won't even call it an education. It was more so just like a course of your one very specific job that you're gonna have to do for the rest of your life. I don't think that counts as college.
One of 20. Sorry, my great granddad's one of 20, and 7 of his sisters who were from rural. Black only town, Alabama went to college. So college, awesome. and women have always been more educated. My point, but to the marriage thing, is this: the marriage age hasn't gone. Don't be very Western centric, because everywhere else in the world, people still get married early.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying specific. So, I mean, when I'm talking about us, I am mostly talking about our country specifically. That's where I get most of my stats
ideologies that have borne out here. And Ireland has the highest age of marriage, first marriage, and that's 34. Right. My point is that the marriage age stayed the same from when they started taking the census until 1960, 70, then it started going up. So we have more history of it actually being the early 20s and late teens than we do.
So you don't think, just quickly, I'm interested in this thought. You don't think that the advent of women being able to be more financially independent contributed to the idea that they're not getting married so early? Like, you don't think that they had any correlation at all?
No, I'm saying
you don't think there's any correlation between women being able to be more financially independent?
Women choosing to do things like go to college and do all the stuff. They're putting off the age of first marriage, right? That is.
I get what you're saying. I heavily disagree.
Is that I know women that are in their 40s and 50s who look back and say, "Man, I really wish I would have got married and had kids."
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm sure they exist everywhere.
What
And
I'm
that's fine.
saying
Good for them.
is that the majority of people want kids, and believe it or not, I actually think that especially women want relationships more than anything else, or else you wouldn't see single moms on dating apps. You see women who have the career, who have the child, and they have a
They still are
relationship
looking there
size hole
for. Yeah, agreed.
in their hearts. So what I'm saying is that what they've done is okay, Alan, who is the most married group of women in the United States, like race-wise?
That's a fantastic question. I don't think I've ever looked into that even a little bit. Please enlighten me.
Asians. Yeah. Who's the most educated? Asians. Who's the highest earning? Asians. Who's the least divorced?
What counts as Asian here? Like
Asians.
Southeast Asian, like the typical Asian, or is that counting like the whole continent?
Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Indians, right? They're
word. Okay, I was curious what that meant.
The highest are actually Indians.
Yeah,
right?
No, I was just about to say. I was going to say that they take because I believe that 100%. That doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
The concept of being, and most of the Indians I know have real careers. They're doctors, lawyers, or whatever. Why is it that all the Indians that I know, and I know a lot of Indians, are all married and have kids, whereas a lot of white and black women who get advanced degrees, they're not married? It's because Asians tend to prioritize family culturally. When you talk to Asian women, they say getting married and having kids is just as important as that degree.
And I'm not disagreeing with you even a little bit on any of this. Like, my whole point is just that, like, the active, let's not even just call it, I'm not even use the word correlation, just the observation that with the more open to young people having more freedoms that Western society gets, more people decide to do things at an older age. Like, that just happens like very naturally, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it's worth being worried about, man. I don't think it's really that big of a deal.
Well, our birth rates are,
and even then, like the blue-haired liberal girl that you hate, like, I mean, her not getting married until 30, like, what does that even do? What does that even do to you?
Alan, because this is one big psyop, and women are being used. Okay, this is my problem.
That's fine. I just don't see the end goal.
Listen. Okay, there's a small group of men who use government and women to redistribute wealth from the rest of us men, and women are being used. Why do you think that tuition went up like 200 and something % during my generation when they pushed women into college? If you're gonna have women move forward, don't have it be them being used for nefarious purposes, right? Women are not actually free. They're in more debt than ever, right? They're not earning much. So it's a big psyop, and I don't like seeing any group being used. That's my problem. It's fake.
Right, but I mean, and AJ, I 100% agree with you. Like, if I take that all on fact and like that you're completely correct about the whole psyop thing, which honestly I'm not saying you aren't. Like, I mean, would rather work with that community instead of, you know, belittling them and telling them that they're wrong as often? Like, I don't see, like, if your whole thing is that you're like sad to see them be used and that they're being screwed, like, why would you want to make them feel worse about it? Like,
because
what would even be the point?
Because they don't listen to me.
Like, but I'm saying, but like, I mean, well, like, take someone like DA. I mean, DA is a very, like, proud, women are worse than men in a lot of ways, right? I mean, like, you are very, very proud of that fact. I'm like, AJ, I personally, if I was in the camp, which I am, that they are being used in other ways, I probably wouldn't, you know, be saying similar talking points as Mr. DA here, right? Like, I think that I think that it's misguided, in my opinion, for people like you, this idea that we're helping them, when every single time you ever talk to one of these feminists, they disagree with you.
I never said that. That want to help.
Right? Them. I mean, it's a little.
I'm just pointing out fact. I'm a reporter here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. But like, saying that you're for women when also saying that the majority of common sentiments for women are wrong is odd to me.
I'm just pointing out what the agenda is. The agenda is to make this fake women's empowerment and make a whole bunch of money squeezing it out of women in every way possible.
And
just
that's,
like
and
now, just like Alan, you know what the biggest psyop now is? Have you noticed all these women your age now all have ADHD, and they're giving all of these women ADHD medicine? What's a psyop? Where did this come from? Where
Men are
it's
actually
big-
more medicated. ADHD children, specifically boys, are more medicated than like any other group. You can look that up.
not for much longer. Look at the
Yeah,
rates
but
of the
that's
increase
like
rates
that's
of
not a just
listen,
that's not a women specific thing though. I don't think
yes,
that's
no, listen.
evidence of a
There's women
grand conspiracy,
college.
brother.
Yes, there is, because now there's women college age that they're assigning, that they're diagnosing with ADHD and giving medication to en masse now. Do the research, dude. Big Pharma
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think that
and said,
ADHD medication.
well, we can't give little boys more medicine. Who can we con into? Oh, these women talk about having anxiety on TikTok. Hey, let's get together with the doctors and say, you know why you have anxiety? It isn't that you're working 2 jobs and going to college and stuff. It's that you have ADHD. So take this medicine. And now you see the ADHD medical stocks just go through the roof. It's a psyop and women are being used. And here's the thing. You can't tell them anything. You can't, especially if you are a man. Anytime that we tell them, hey, you might not want to do that, they say, how dare you? So I just point and laugh. I just say, look, guys, you know what? It's going to take them hitting rock bottom and men not offering to help for them to actually realize we are in this together. I never hear men en masse saying we don't need women, but I hear women en masse saying we don't need men. Men are trash. Men are this. Men are that. So what I'm saying is that my strategy is called men minding their own business. Just check out. If I see
that's what my strategy is too. I think that we mean different things by that. I'm interested to get into what I had to say now, because I agree. Yeah, this first of all, 100%, not even one thing that I disagree with you on the over medication point. I don't know if it's a grander conspiracy, and obviously I'm young. In time, we will see. I just don't have much of an opinion on it, so I'm not really going to speak on that aspect of it. But I do agree with you. The over medication because of small, simple, relatively solvable mental conditions. That is rough, and that will lead to a genuine consequence. But I think that's more indicative of the idea of how pharmaceutical companies are allowed to run and be encouraged to run. More so than there's this conspiracy that's like trying to hurt women. That's just me. Like that's my 2 cents on the matter, I suppose. I don't think it really has anything to do with gender or race or anything.
Is a psyop too of the sexual revolution, right?
I mean, men are diagnosed and given medication for ADHD at double the level of women. You can look that up. Like that's just real. Like I feel like if they
women per capita are rising.
They are rising. I agree. I just looked it up. I literally just looked it up. You're totally right. I'm not even saying you're wrong.
Well,
but
what I'm saying is that anytime that there's some social movements, and I've told you this before, I need you to actually look at what the outcome is and see K Bono who benefits. Right?
I do.
In the 80s, right? Like you guys remember the 80s? Well, you probably don't, Alan, but you started seeing black people in TV and media, but the black guy, he would always get killed in the first 5 minutes.
I'm a white bleeding heart liberal. You don't think I've heard about that?
But what I'm saying is that now it's the women and the LGBTVs that are being placated to the same way. And they're not really trying to help you. They're not trying to help you guys. They're not. They're just trying to just enough to get votes. And women fall for it every single time.
But like,
drives me nuts. So
before I want to get into my thing, and I like totally get what you're saying. No, I get you, but like I don't know if the political conspiracy to get more votes from the whoever, right, is here's more freedom, like here's more things you can do. And here's less restrictions.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, I think allowing gay people to get married, I think that's more freedom than less. I think that allowing women to not have to be married to opt for a credit card, I think that's more freedom than less.
But listen, okay.
Even if you disagree with it, even if you disagree with the outcome, I'm saying that those things are an easier sell, and I think a better sell.
That's freedom, and same-sex marriage, I have no problem with. Look, all right.
Oh, really? Oh, good for you.
Dude,
all right, cool.
I'm from Seattle, Washington. All right, bro. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was gonna say you see a whole lot of that. Whole lot of boy kissing going on over there, dude.
I have no problem with the L, the G's, and the B's. It's just the
The T's, I know. Oh, I'm aware.
My point is it really freedom when you have a woman that I know personally who has $400,000 in student loan debt and credit card debt up the years, and she's going to be destitute for her entire life.
Yeah, but it's the same freedom to be miserable with everybody else. I mean, everyone else is miserable too.
Well, what I'm saying,
yeah, I would rather have the freedom to be miserable than never have the chance and be completely relegated to someone else's ideas. Even if my ideas are a bad idea, like I would rather have the opportunity to make a bad decision than not have the opportunity at all. And I think that's a common sentiment amongst young people.
Standpoint theory is, Alan?
Standpoint theory? No, I'm not familiar.
Standpoint theory means that it's this theory that you go by whoever's the most oppressed, or like the more oppressed you are, the more holistic view of the world you have. Meaning, like, so they assume that, like, because you're like a white guy, you don't know anything because you just had it so easy. But then
I think
Jay and I are people of color, so we should be the ones to talk because we understand the intersections of the blah blah blah. Feminist standpoint theory actually makes it seem, it boils every man and woman interaction down to men oppressing these women.
Yes, like very left leaning, but yes.
White women were the biggest beneficiaries of said patriarchy. Think about it.
I don't even.
They're the most privileged people on earth.
Because I've heard this argument before, and I don't even necessarily disagree with you on it.
Every single horrible thing that they say white men have done, they brought the spoils back to their wives. At least the white men had to go rape and kill. I mean, why do men do things? Is for women. It's for the comfort. of women.
So for the comfort of women.
Yes.
Why do men do things for the comfort of women? In a general sense.
Yes. Why do we make
like
air conditioning? Why do we make all these inventions and civilize the world? Is to make things easier for women who are going to have children.
So you're saying, I mean, like if we lived in a world where, there's no, like if we reverted back to 1900, there's no divorces, women basically need to be married in order to have any financial stability in their lives. And the man, goes out and he goes on a weekend trip to Vegas, fools around a little bit with a Vegas whore.
Women have always worked. What rich white women didn't work, but Asian women built the railroads. Black women worked. Poor white women worked. All women worked except for rich white
right,
women.
but that's my point. I don't think that counts as financial stability, right? Right? I mean, that's the poor white woman, the poor Chinese immigrant in 1900 working on a railroad. That's not financial stability. And I would tell you, I'd bet dollars to donuts that if she found a rich white man who was happy to take her hand in marriage, she'd be doing a whole lot better. That's my point. So yeah, but now they're allowed to do a little bit better without having to look for their shining, prince in shining armor, which I think is a good thing overall. That's my opinion. I think that is a good thing. Personally, that's not even like white knighting for women. That's just like for real. If I was in the same position, I'd say the same shit.
People, they're free to succeed and they're free to fail. And here's the thing: men have been. This opened the Pandora's box up for women now because men have always occupied the worst outcomes in society: homeless, mentally ill, junkies, self deletions. And now, welcome down here with us, women. Now you see homeless women. Did you ever see homeless women growing up?
No.
Me. Now you see homeless women. You see them in the streets, mentally ill, junkies. What I'm saying is that freedom comes with a price, and I see women complaining about the outcomes, and men, we just take the L's.
Right. So just let it. I don't know if I'd go as far. Men take the L's.
Yes.
I don't know if men take the L's. In a mortality rate quite actually less than the other ones. Men find it much harder to take the L's, as a matter of fact.
What I'm saying is that guys on the street or guys who are homeless aren't men who are at the bottom of society, aren't as much of a net drain on society as women that take L's. Look at Korea, Japan. They have all these older women that are draining society. You have all these women who the government has to pay for because there's no, like, society's not set up for homeless women, for women who are at the bottom. They are a net drain on our economy because women need to be taken care of. You don't see single moms are out there using tax money. You don't see single fathers oftentimes don't use food stamps. Yes, there's not as many, but you see homeless men, but single moms. You understand? 50% of our taxes go towards social programs, which is all right. But it's when you have, like, in the black
social programs like Social Security and pensions. I mean, like, it's kind of absurd to say that 50% of our stuff goes to homeless people. Most of it is Social Security for people that have worked their whole life.
70% of the black community,
I'm just saying,
is single parent homes, and white people are on the way. And when that happens, we're gonna get cooked.
All right, then we fucked around and we found out. I don't think it's worth getting our panties in a bunch over. That's just, I guess that's my larger point that I kind of wanted to come here to talk to DA about. It's actually a decent transition. If you don't mind, if I say something.
Before we go to your, I think we should.
It's not like a big thing. It's more so just like a point.
I wanted to just put my 2 cents in. I don't think we should ignore things. I think we should actually be men again and bring back shame, bring back order, right? I don't think men should ignore it. I think men, Alan is right. I do hold women accountable, and I think more men should, right? More men should speak up. More men shouldn't just be passive. I think that'd be done, right? I think that's the femininity in us. We shouldn't be passive. We should be aggressive. So I don't think we should just sit back and watch. I think we should talk and force change. That's my thing, right?
We can't force change.
But DA, the change that you're advocating for was the status quo, right? I mean, so
it was.
But DA, listen. If we had like thousands of years of civilized society to iron the kinks out, and then within 50 years we were like, okay, no, I'm saying, and then we were like, okay, maybe this whole women can't vote thing, that was a misguided idea, right? And it's like so what? Like I don't understand. We are trying to revert things. I don't think you're being aggressive about change.
There was women voting in state elections in 1805. There was women who were voting before the majority of men could. When the United States first started,
majority of men. But if here's the
thing.
That's not the point.
No,
Jay, that's not the point though.
But listen. When our country started, the majority of people couldn't vote. But women were voting.
Yeah, I know. I hear this. I know.
Women were voting in Connecticut and New Jersey. Women could own property.
If they met the exact same standards.
If they own property just like men.
Right, and then that slowly kind of got phased out with the majority of elections. I don't get it.
So they gendered the language in some states. Then they passed universal suffrage not too long before they passed women's suffrage. And might I add that the suffragettes were racist. They hated black people. They were some of the
I'm not going to go as far as say the suffragettes because that's like millions and millions of people. I don't think they're all racist. Yes, I will agree with you though. It's rough. You can read some of their documents. They were not super happy at the black ladies coming in. I agree. You're saying correct things.
They were mad that us black men got the vote first. Now, what I'm saying is that feminist standpoint theory says that women were just all like in the basement locked up. And then you actually look and see there was women, especially feminist scholars who are traveling around doing presentations and debates in the mid 1800s. Women weren't just in the kitchen. They were actually out there doing
I would never say that.
I'm not saying you are.
Because that's an absurd thing to say. I don't think anyone would say that.
Is that women didn't work. Men were kiosk shopping their wives. It was a horrible thing to do. Men and women were oppressed by nature itself. Lived in abject poverty, so we had to work together to survive. And women look back and say, well, we just had it worse. Like, how did you have it? It was bad for everybody. And then you bring up race, and white women really can't talk.
I get what you're saying.
Race card is liberal white women.
All right.
I'll give you that one. That is true.
So what is the thing you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, what do you want?
Well, as you may remember, Alan got his little heart broken a couple months ago.
Yes.
Alan was not a happy camper about that one.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
That's all right. It was. I know you're gonna say like, don't do this yourself. A good amount of it was my fault. I will admit that. But it was kind of like, ooh, like it stung. It was a rough one on her part, and I think that she's aware of that, which is, yeah, that's fine. That's fine by me. Anyway, but I guess no, it kind of put me in a weird I don't know, what do you want to call it? I'm in mood. Mood is a good word for it. It put me in an odd, just like headspace. Specifically, just like the way that I think, because I would never. I'm not gonna call myself a feminist because I know that means a very different thing to you than it does to me. But like, you know what I mean? I guess I would in like an actual dictionary definition of it. But anyway, it was just kind of like one of those. It's like, okay, I've been talking to a lot of these like quote unquote red pill men's rights activist fellas often, and I was like, let's give it a shot, right? Like I was just like, you know what? Like I'm fucked up. I've been told by so many of these people that like I'm just white knighting for white women. They don't deserve it, blah 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 blah, right? And I just kind of, a few weeks passed of me being very passive. I'm in my own. Okay, fuck it. Fuck this. You don't want to hear about this shit. My point is that, like, honestly, I genuinely came to the conclusion that I think that the ideas that are pushed by the quote unquote red pill are like worse overall, 100% for young men. Like, I think that it's like a genuine net negative for young men to hear some of the shit that I was looking up and seeing on the internet. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm being for real, dude. I got some rough shit. I started a new YouTube account and just started looking into like the manosphere just because I was like, okay, if I was a completely uninformed human being who just got broken up in the way that I did, and I was looking up these things, what would I find? And I found just a lot of like genuine, like, women need to stay in the kitchen. Women need, we should repeal the 19th Amendment. They shouldn't have ever had the chance to break your heart. If they do, then you got to get them back. Go fuck their friend. Like, it's like all of this just like insane shit. And I was just like, I really don't see the point. Like,
well, let's do this. Let's do this, right? Because I love this experiment.
I also just want to talk to DA about this because I was appalled at some of the shit that I was hearing, and it took me like 2 days to get my entire feed, like content like yours, but like way worse. And I was just like, whoa! And it like made me remember that I don't have to worry about these things. This is my point, right? It's like I'm all right looking. I'm not handsome by any means at all, but like I look in the mirror and I am relatively fine with it, right? I mean, there's obviously like, measurable things that I could change. I could go to the gym more, I could do that, whatever, but I'm not going to fix my hook nose. Like, there's nothing I can do about that aside from spending thousands of years of money. So like, why worry about it, right? Like, yes, was the girl a little bad at communication and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, but like, why exude my precious effort as a human being into finding like ways to blame it on them all of the time, and to just because I'm a little perfect, Alan is perfect and Alan didn't deserve it. Yeah, sure. But like, I think that genuinely these ideas of like the alpha and like just even the majority of like red pill talking points, I think that it instills a worse sense of confidence in men.
If I could just like say this,
that's just me.
Red pill itself is a set of observations. It's a dossier, right? To say things like, look, if you're a 19, 20-year-old guy, guys, we saw the some of the girls we like go for the older guys who like had a nicer car or or whatever, had a better job or whatever. It's all about like, look, this is the nature of dating and relationships. The red pill is descriptive. Now you're checking out the manosphere that's prescriptive. So black pill.
Yes, yeah, I know, I understand.
Cow. So
I get what
you're
saying.
conflating two things.
No, I am not. I'm talking about the actual talking points of it, man.
No, but the red pill itself, okay, is saying, so for instance, a lot of guys who you see who are the most angry who are red pill are guys that are in their 30s and 40s who did the right thing. They got married, they had kids, they did, they were the good guy, and then their wife just leaves them because she's not happy. Next thing you know, his pension's gone. He's a part-time dad. He got wrecked, and he's like, "Holy crap! How did this happen?" Then he looks on a red pill site, realizes, "Wait a minute! I'm not crazy. The court systems do cook men. Women do leave marriages.
This is what I'm getting into. Do you want to hear something? Do you want to hear something so fucking insane that I read about, AJ?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Just hold that last thing that you said.
There are men who self-delete because of what they go through in this system. And what I'm saying is oftentimes the red pill that doesn't apply to you, the only thing that keeps them, I've had guys reach out to me and email me and say, bro, you don't know how much your channel has got me through some dark times. You can't fathom what some of these men have gone through. And this is what I'm saying. This is like trying to explain sex to a person who's never had sex. You guys know, like, before you had sex, and then your friends trying to explain it, and then you have it, and now you're like, oh!
I was the first one, actually.
You cannot understand the trauma that men have gone through in this gynocratic, misandrist society, okay? You got my brother, the fact that he got through what he went through, and he's my twin. Like, we've been together since the womb. To see what he went through, and when he woke up and he took the red pill, and the red pill's never taken orally. You know what I'm saying? When he was like, everything that he was doing was completely wrong. Like, we're told that it's the right thing, but if you listen to what the red pill descriptors say about the dynamics between men and women. Take one like nice guys finish last. We always say in the red DA, right? Nice guys finish last. How do we know this? You talk to a girl, oh, my exes were all jerks and assholes.
No. We don't have to.
She was rewarding that behavior. That's the one that they sleep with, right? That's the guy who's getting the attention. So I'm saying
but my point is that
toxic stuff. That's the prescriptors. DA here and me here as red pill guys, we're not going to argue someone else's prescriptions. Ask devil's advocate right now what his prescriptions are for the red pill, and he will tell it to you. Because what you're going to try and do is ask him to defend things that he did not say. Each and every red pill guy is different.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to.
So, DA, I have things the DA has said that are actually pertinent to this topic. Would you like me to read them out?
No, go ahead. I definitely want to talk to you about it.
Say hello to the bad guy.
But, I think that this I think you kind of just proved it for me. I think that it's like absurd, and like I understand this idea of like what men have been through. It's like, yeah,
no, you
that
don't.
Sucks, but yes,
you just downplayed it. No, you just downplayed it, bro.
AJ,
at a general level, 21-year-old Tommy who just got broken up for not being good at kissing, and that sucks. Like, that's a rough thing. But I'm not putting him in the same fucking category as the man you mentioned that got divorced for no reason and got his pension taken away. Those are two very different sects, but the concept of the red pill offers them the same solution. That you are better, that they're just bad guys.
Red pill doesn't offer solutions.
And that's not even
that's
prescription.
No, listen, not prescription.
No. Let's talk about if you're going to.
It's called a pill. Yes, the red pill is a prescription. How is it not?
Guys, let's
in an ideological sense. Yes, you observing things is not a prescription.
I want to. No. This is a thing where I want to explain things for you, right? This is the problem where we have to. This is the problem with a lot of us, right? Where particularly when people listen to the red pill, the problem is that they don't understand that social media and actually comprehending critical thinking. So let's say hypothetically, the things you said, enter the kitchen, stop voting. It's hyperbole. It's very to grab attention, but it's like, the thing is, the problem is that a lot of people will listen to that and that's what they say. But instead of actually diving deeper, where let's say hypothetically, women enter the kitchen. Yes, that phrase alone is very triggering to people, but you have to think about it more that it's pretty much the same to be a wife, right? That's the problem. That's the thing where women don't understand how to be wives anymore. Okay. That is the thing where, yes, you need to go back in the kitchen. Yes, it's triggering, but the deep down actual critical thinking that so many people lack, which it's sad that it seems like you do it too, because you're taking red pill at the surface level, where surface level, people are trying to trigger you for content. If you actually critical think, it is true that women lack being wives. Women rather be baby mamas than be actual wives, right?
All right, let's stop it there. Let's stop it right there, DA. No, let's stop it right there. That is a claim. Women would rather be baby mamas than wives. See, now that is a statement that seems pretty congruent with the rest of the quote-unquote red pill ideology that I'm talking about, right? Like that sentence is a perfect demonstration of it.
I'm
and
black.
I need to
I can
ask
say
you,
that. I'm black. I can confirm.
That's fine, AJ.
I'm black.
I need to ask DA specifically, knowing that information. First of all, like, how do you know that? Like a genuine. How would you possibly quantify that in any way, shape, or form?
Statistically, I could prove it. Right?
Women as a whole, that's 3.6. That's like almost 4 billion people. You said women would rather be baby mamas than wives.
Women doesn't mean all, right? When I say women, I don't mean all, but when I say women,
you don't like, you just mean women you disagree with.
It's not even women I disagree with. When I say women, I mean majority. Majority can mean 51%. So let's say statistics, right? Let's say black community where majority, there's a growing single motherhood, there's a shrinking wife, right? Shrinking marriage. They have less marriages, more single mothers. Already that right there, that demographic already shows you the truth, right? Overall, our single mother rates are not decreasing at a drastic rate comparative to our marriage rates. Marriage rates are decreasing drastically comparatively to single mother rates, right? So that shows you that
I'm saying
women
that
don't
it
have a
shouldn't
problem
bother you.
becoming mothers. But they have an issue with marrying men. So already that I could take some correlations to that. Right, so that's why I could say
I
that.
don't think that's what that means.
Women find it
So you're saying that the
easier
single
to
mother
be
rate,
baby mamas than wives.
Yes, because single mothers raise criminals and
okay,
people who are
but they would rather be single mothers, and they're more likely to be single mothers.
It's just easier,
You
right?
said you want most. I'm just going to keep changing the statement that you just made because you keep going back on things. Most women would rather be single mothers than wives.
Marriage as
they would rather be single mothers than wives. You are confident in that. You're confident that if I surveyed 1,000 women on the street and said, "Would you rather be married to a man and have a kid, or would you rather be by yourself with a delinquent deadbeat living 2 states away?"
Yes, they see marriage as more a commitment. That's why.
That's fine. My next thing, I hear that, and I'm going to take it. It's 100% true. I'm not even going to argue. I don't really care enough to look that up at all. Like, it's whatever. But like, how does that hurt you? Like, why are you upset about it? I'm genuinely asking. This is not rhetorical.
I could argue
DA makes not a career, but like his whole channel is based around these sorts of things. Why are you specifically upset about it, DA?
Okay. Look at it, right? A young man like you, right? A young man like you. This is the benefit. This is why I love this area where it woke me up, right? I think that's the power of Red Pill, where it wakes you up from this delusion. Women would rather, you know what, marry you, or no, they'd rather have sex with you, get pregnant by you. But you know what? If you're not good enough, they will leave you. They will divorce you, or they don't even want to marry you, right? Having a child with you, fine, whatever. They can get child support from you, right? That is why I say the things I say, because it shows you that, you know what? The problem, right, where women don't value you as much as your resources, as much as what you could do for you. They don't value you as much as a person, right, as much as a potential partner, but value you by, you know what, you're a tool to be used, right? So if young men realize that, you know what, I have to be very cautious of how I go about the world. That is why Red Pill is so important. It wakes men up from the delusion. Because here's my thing, right? I want to say personally, before I even got into Red Pill, I was stupid. White knight, think women are angels, think women are amazing, think women can't do no wrong, think women are morally sound. Women won't cheat on me. Women won't lie to me. Women won't abuse me, do all this shit. Red Pill woke me where, you know what? Women are no better than men. I'm not even saying men are better than women. I'm saying women are no better than men. And that's the thing where I'm saying personally, I think that's where a lot of men fail, because a lot of men thought that, you know what, women were better than men. I believe a lot of men think like that, where you're more morally sound, you're nicer, you're whatever, right? And that's what I believe that a lot of men went through before going to Red Pill, right? And Red Pill woke a lot of men up.
But yeah, think about all the negative effects that it has on children, and these children are going to grow up to be
Yes,
bad on
too.
society.
Exactly.
They're more likely to drop out of school, to be criminals, drug addicts, junkies. Like this is just like common sense. These women are more are guaranteed putting their children in the worst position possible. This is why people see this is a very narrow, like Western centric way to think. Women in the East,
exactly,
they don't do this. And guys, this is why I say this. This is the most tolerant part of the internet, because all of us men, we admit that we've simped, that we've got
exactly,
we got chumped. But once you're here, we don't judge.
No,
we don't judge, man. We do not judge. As long as you forsake the simping, as long as you say, hey guys, and we exchange information, and this is why I say this. There's a new crop of guys that are coming up. You got DA, you got other. We exchange ideas, right? And we're here to create this space for us men to talk and chat. You don't see us acting like we're gurus. We're the everyman who exchanges these ideas, because we don't judge each other. And here's the thing: we are not trying to compete. You younger guys.
No.
DA is 42. I'm 45. Big bars. How old are you?
I'm 43.
Yeah. So us guys,
we are all brothers.
We want to see you 19, 20, 22-year-old guys. We want to see you guys. By the time that you're our age, you're 10 times farther than us.
Exactly.
We want you to. You think these women, these 45-year-old chicks, they're in the club trying to get the same chicks as 25-year-old chicks are? You know what I'm saying? Women can't. Misery loves company. It's a 45-year-old chick who's cooked, does not want to see her 21-year-old niece or her 20-year-old daughter get married and have be successful. No. Right. That's why us guys will always win, and that's why I'm so optimistic about the future. Gen Z men are more conservative. They're more religious. They're not simping. Right? They've had it. They're done. You know what I mean? And this is going to make our movement stronger. I just think that, and I'll go here in a little bit, older millennial men, so like 38 to about 43, you're gonna see the biggest group of divorces en masse,
or just no marriages. Those men won't even get a chance to marry. Right? No one will.
Population.
Yeah, they're getting cooked every day in divorce court. And a lot of them got married during the cough, just decided to willingly, and they're going to get destroyed. And then they're going to come on the internet. They're like, man, I'm on my mom's futon. She took the house. She got the kids. She got my pension. Damn, what happened? And they're going to find content like ours and realize, holy crap, I'm not crazy. I wish I'd have known this 20 years ago.
And that's the thing, right? But that's what I want to say before that is that this is the thing where I really wish young men like Alan would. I mean, he's smart, but the problem is he can't critically think, because like most people on the left, they take things at surface level. Yes, I agree. Redpill will say, but anything, right? They will say controversial shit. Yeah. But the problem is you got to critically think.
Just
like look beyond it. Look deeper, right? There's a meaning to a lot of things everyone says, right? Yes, it's very controversial. It's very triggering, but there's a meaning to it, right? I don't take anyone on face value. And plus, I promote this always. Don't listen to anyone 100%. Be a man that can critically think.
Yeah, feminists say that that they would rather choose the bear, and it's not always men, but it's always a man, and these stupid things, right? Do I get mad? No, but they're saying these things intentionally, right? The feminism thing. Have you guys seen that? DA, have you done a video on that? These chicks, my microfeminism is not moving out of the way for a man.
Oh my God, yes, I want to talk about that shit.
Is when I go to the hospital.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I assume that the woman's a doctor and not the man. When I go, if it's a couple, I always say, Ms. and I say the woman's last name first or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they do these stupid passive aggressive things and pretend that us men care. So they do this stuff to be triggering. And here's the thing. They're doing it to get attention because that type of stuff grabs people. That's why DA talks mess on his channel. I talk mess on mine, but you cannot. DA, I've never heard anyone disprove the red pill descriptors.
Yeah, I mean, because
they talk about
on a surface level
how it's said, who says it, but they've never been able to actually talk about divorce court, about family court, about how
my bad, boys.
Women get a 45% less time for the same crime, and all these other gynocentric
No, but
things.
these are.
Okay, okay, so
no, sorry, my internet just like decided to completely die. Those are the things that I'm talking about. You're right. I was talking about prescriptions. Or those are the talking points that I was talking about when I said it was so odd. It was like a different universe having my entire feed filled with the Andrew Wilsons of the world. Because
Andrew Wilson's not red pill though. He's a Christian nationalist.
And even if
you would say that they intersect quite well. I know I'm getting to a point. Okay, then not Andrew Wilson, Andrew Tate. I just picked a random person. AJ. It has nothing to do with what I was going to say.
Single moms and all the stuff that we disagree with. So
okay, that's fine. Then I didn't pick any other of your favorite. Who cares? My point is that I looked it up. I went my entire life. The whole men get screwed in divorce court. That whole idea that it's like some like mainstream like genuine. Oh, it's just one of those facts of life, and that real sucks, right? Like I always just thought that it was like genuine, that it was like a serious problem that you can't do nothing about.
It is true.
Do you want to see the current statistic? I want to share with you something.
Like, okay,
Alex, I want to share with you one thing. Listen to me.
Stop. You're gonna say that 95% of men don't fight for their kids, right?
I'm gonna say that 96%.
Stop. The lead attorney, he's a 28-year divorce attorney. He did a video on this, and he could explain this to you perfectly about why you know the statistic, but you don't know.
No, that's not even the statistic I was talking about. AJ, you're going somewhere I don't even have an opinion on. Okay, I'm listening, but still, this isn't. You're not refuting anything. I'm just letting you know.
Men get completely destroyed in divorce court, and then they get cooked in family court, and they can't see their kids. There's nothing that you can say to disprove this point, because it's like you would be saying the sky.
Well, just let Alan say what. So make your point.
How often, off the top of your head, can you? Because this is a real important thing that all the fellas left out on my journey. How often do you think that a divorce involving custody decisions even goes to family court? Like, how often do you think that it ever even is a judge deciding to the father that he can't see his kids? Because there's a quantifiable number that I found a couple days ago, and this is the perception change, by the way. This was the moment where I realized that I think that everyone is just very capable of being lied to. Can you tell me off the top of your head what percentage of these things that you talk about where men are getting screwed are actually gets decided by the government? How often do you think it happens?
I looked at it before. I mean, I don't remember the exact percentage, but I know.
Give me an estimate. An estimate works. An estimate works.
Well, I'm going to say it, right? It's majority of the time they do it outside of court, right? They already do it. They already figured it out.
Give me just like a general estimate, because I don't look it up, AJ. I want to see what AJ.
I don't know.
Tell me,
brother.
Of the time,
probably 60% of the time.
AJ, do you have because this is once again I feel like it's a pretty big piece of context that is left out, that it completely eluded me, and that all I do is read about political bullshit for this long, right? Like, AJ, do you have any idea of the number?
No.
You don't even have like a general you don't even have like a general. You don't even have a guesstimate.
No,
it's a pretty big deal.
Can I say something?
You said 60. Yeah, what's up, Big Bars? I wanted you to answer my question though, eventually,
because I'm telling you from personal experience, this is something that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in mediation. They was talking about $400. I was like, let me try to fight this or whatever, what other things were going on. You know, they stuck me with 600. They cooked me. They cooked me, and the sad thing is,
that's why
you let me talk. You please let me talk, and I talk, you talk. I talk, you talk. I talk, you talk. And the sad thing is that most people who are smart are going to take that mediation. Most smart people are going to take the mediation, because by the time it does get to family court, they're going to cook you. And sadly, you're not going to understand that you get cooked. You're not the type that is you're smart, not wise. And I'm sorry, that's how I feel because you're sitting here fighting against people. You're sitting here fighting against people who have actually been through stuff.
But this is what I'm getting at.
We're trying to tell you. I talk, you talk. I talk, you talk. I'm trying to tell you that if you go up, if you don't take that deal that they put out up front, they're going to cook you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So your point really is mute because you're talking about, well, how many go to the judge? Well, it'd be more men getting cooked if it went to the judges.
Big bars though. But the issue is that in mediation, they decide who has primary custody based on who's with the child more. So if they can determine that the father works more, ding, 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 by default, the mother is going to have primary custody. If the father contests, it goes to court, then you're really going to get cooked. So that's not the gotcha that you think it is, Alan.
Wait.
It wasn't supposed to be a gotcha. Big bars, I'm not against this at all. I just
wait. Alan, before you continue, I want to help you critically think how men think, right? With the red pill side, right? So when I started, right, what I did was I listened to a lot of men's story, right? And it's hearing other men's hardship got me into red pill and got me, it woke me up. So I want you to think like this, right? Where if you look at, let's say, women's side, where it's a small minority of women that actually gets, essayed and all this stuff. But it's actually a minority of women that get essayed. But it's important that we care that what happens, even if it's a minority of women. It's just the same thing as men. Men are not saying that all men or majority of men do this, right? We're saying that this happens to men. And that's the thing where I really wish that a lot of people can understand that we're not trying to say it's like victim Olympics. We're just trying to say that shit happens to men. Because in red pill side, we look at it where nobody cares about men. Men don't care, and especially women don't care. Society doesn't care about men, right? And that's why even if it's a small minority or even it's like whatever, we want to talk about things that happen to men because nobody cares what happens to men. And that's the point. We're not saying that it's 90% of population or 80% of whatever, right? We're saying that shit happens to men. Nobody cares.
And I think that when you say we, there's a very small minority of we in the community you're talking about.
It's the whole community. It's
the we. Community. So you'd say I'm not even engaging with that. That wasn't my point. And no, this wasn't supposed to be a gotcha. I was genuinely just curious if you knew the number. It's like
wants to hold on to what extremists say. Extremists, you have extremists in everything. Everything you have extremists in. Yes.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You know, extreme red pill, extremist red pill people everywhere.
You have that everywhere. You seem like a reasonable person.
Everything.
You seem like a reasonable person.
You have extremists in everything. But
if you
you didn't, can I say the thing though? The highest estimate, and for the record, fair enough. This is not a gotcha. I understand. Maybe I set it up in that way, shape, or form. So apologies on that one. But I always thought that it was like most of the time, and the way that there was this one guy. I wish I saved the video so I could show it to you guys. But it was like a 5-minute video. It had like 100,000 views, and it was about like the divorce court thing, right? And I was like, let's look about it. And like the whole video didn't bring up really any statistics, especially the fact that it's like the highest estimate is like 10% that actually goes in front of a judge of all divorces involving custody. So that's like a very small minority of a very small minority. I understand your point about we still have to look at minority representation. Silly actually coming from you guys on that point, but I don't think the words of the red pill community would not hold as much weight if you were aware of how just small these things are, right? Which is why they deliberately
out of the 10%. Out of the 10%, what are the outcomes in that 10%? I think that is the real question. And if you think critically, you can think like that. What is the result of the 10%? You say only 10%.
I'll look it up. I'll use the same thing.
Big bars. This is the same argument people use when they say only 37 to 40% of paternity tests show that the father's not. I mean, that the kid is not the father. It's like, what do you mean only 35%? That's a big number. That's a big deal. Even if it's 1%, that's a big deal.
But you guys are missing the point. But maybe I'm just not articulating myself well.
Here's my. I kind of see your point, but I think this is why
I haven't really gotten to it.
I see your small point, right? But
Sure.
I still think that this is the thing where you're still missing understanding where, yes, maybe this one, like, this is why I feel like Redpill is like, it's encompassing. It's about men's issues, period.
And
right?
No one cares.
So you say one thing, yes, it may be small, 10%, yeah. But it's not the only thing men talk about, right? So men talk about the divorce court, men talk about custodies, men that's why it's an umbrella. So we focus the men that hurts this way. It's literally, this is why I find it insane. I'm not saying necessarily you do, but the left does, right? Democrats do, where it's if it's one thing that's happened to women, we focus on it.
Thank you. Yeah.
If it's one thing that happens to men, we belittle it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing where that's why I say this, where we are just caring about men, period, right? Yep. Which is sad that we care about young men like you, because we do, like, if we all of us, right? We're old heads. We all been there where we got our heart broken. Like I said in the beginning, it's just to show men that you're not alone, right?
Yeah.
You go through this hardship, divorce court, custody courts, breakup, women that don't choose you, women that thinks, have high standards,
who steal
choose
from you,
bad men, right? It's a whole bunch of things.
Domestic violence, you know what I'm saying?
And my thing is that I think there is a much worse outcome overall. This whole idea, the quote unquote red pill, not the prescriptions. I'm not going to say even anything because you don't want to engage with that. That's fine. I understand. The whole idea is completely based around the fact that you want to feel better about yourself after something bad happened. Fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You need support. You want support. If it's coming from the internet, if it's coming from a community, who gives a shit? It's coming from family. Who cares? Everyone wants support. Everyone wants to be told that they're right. Everyone wants to be told that they're okay. And everyone wants to.
It's preventative too. We're just telling people it's older
and
guys.
And my point is that it was.
Young guys.
I think that it makes it worse. I genuinely actually think that. I'll tell you.
Go ahead. Quantify.
I will say this. I think that after about a day of my experiment, I got this video recommended. It was like 10 reasons why women won't date you. And 8 of them were entirely physical. It was just like, you need to hold your chin out like this to have a better jawline when you're out. It's like these things that I've never even thought about, right? Like these concepts. Alan, no, but listen. I'm getting to a point. Listen.
Maybe you haven't had to.
No, but listen to let me get to my overall, the biggie boy. Because I'm like watching this stuff and I'm reading and I've obviously talked with you guys a lot, and it's like I am miserable because it brought my attention to these things. It brought my attention. It made me upset. Like I'm saying that yes, I'm sure that I'll even give you a majority of the quote unquote red pill community are just more so there for people that got fucked. That's fine. But it is reactionary. It is reactionary. It will always be reactionary. And I don't think that it's good overall. I think that the ideas behind, like, yeah, we need to give men support, 100% fine. Like, the idea, like, but I watched this one video and it was just, oh God, I can't remember her name. I wish that I actually saved these so I could send them to you guys. I promise I'm not making this up. But I'm getting, listen. She mentioned, she was like, it was a woman who was just like, it was about domestic violence shelters, right? And it was like, yeah, there's thousands. There's thousands for women.
Let's go back to your looks thing, right?
Yeah.
This is where this is where you are being you're not critically thinking and you're being dishonest, because it is 100% true that women do. There are studies, right? There are actual studies out there that
people
women actually
more.
Hold on.
Let me talk.
But that's not.
But let me talk.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
There are studies out there that literally show that. There are studies out there that were showing that either do men value looks over finance, or do women value finance over looks? And that study shows that actually men do care actually more about finance than society thinks, and women actually care about looks more than what society thinks. It is 100% true that women care about looks, right?
Okay.
So
and that's
for men to wake up
that's
that,
my point. I'm not saying that's
care
wrong.
about your personality, that deludes you, right? No one's saying that women care 100% only about your personality or only about your looks. but looks are very important to a lot of women, and it's to wake up men, because I grew up thinking, oh, women love you for your personality, women love you for who you are. That's bullshit. That's what we had to wake up from. That's what a lot of men had to wake up from.
We're just demonizing the other. We're just making the other seem worse to make ourselves feel better.
We're making it seem that they're no better. They're no better than us.
Yes, we're the same. We judge by the same. Alan, I'm 6 foot.
You don't.
Listen. Women have always said that they want a guy who's 6 foot. And I was like, is that true? And then back in like 2012, when the dating apps first popped off, my homeboy's 5'5". I saw how hard he had it on dating apps and how easy I had it. And I saw him getting red pilled. Like, bro,
and you guys are just proving my point. I don't think you understand that you're just making my point better.
Realize that his height was a hindrance and he had to work around it. And he was actually much better when he realized his height is a disadvantage. He wasn't upset about it. He wasn't spinning his wheels. All of a sudden, he started being more funny and being more out there and saying, but he understood that as a 5'5", 5'6" guy in that area, he doesn't have that advantage. So he could have put his head in the sand or when it comes to height, or realized, looked at the data and say that the majority of women prefer tall guys. So I have to overperform because I don't fit that criteria. How is that hurting anyone?
Because it forces this idea that is the standard. That's not bettering himself.
Because it is.
Giving me more things to worry about when I look at my face in the mirror in the morning, I don't think is a good thing.
You must not have stuff to worry about.
No, but Alan, you gotta think about it.
I do, and I just don't give a shit.
Wait.
My point, bro, I guess I'm not gonna give this out.
No. But
you're losing, so you want to overtalk everybody.
No.
Big bars. That's just how I am. It's just in my nature.
Alan's a relatively
you need to fix that. That's crazy.
Decent looking guy.
It is like
a good personality.
Online calling.
So he's never had to struggle with women.
I weigh 130 pounds. I am 5'8". I have a big, large nose. I have funny shaped ears, and I didn't really take care of my teeth all that well as a kid. I do not look great, and yet I still find success.
Yes, but you still find success. But here's the thing: there's something.
I find success because of my inherent wants. I paint my nails. Like I do things that you guys would. You guys would have said, the feminine, the emasculation. Who gives a shit?
You somehow cracked the code to where you can talk to chicks, and there are men out there who haven't been able to get to what you've figured out naturally.
Right, but constantly telling them that it's because of this, that, and then by the way, also women lie a lot. Like I don't think it's the right solution. I think that I genuinely say, I say this with my chest, genuinely, that if you went to a Redpill party, of the alphas and all of these the biggest names in this community, and you walked up to them and told them that you're like DA specifically, if you walked up to them and told them your struggle specifically, and then you went to let's just call it a feminist rally, because I know you guys are picturing whatever you want in your head. Positive, I say this with us after watching some of the shit and after just seeing the general rabbit hole that it leads down to. I think that men are better off accepting these wacky, kooky ideas that are happening now on the other side of the aisle. But when it comes to the other in general, I think
the only reason why these ideas happen
in aggregate,
is we let them happen.
trying to keep this ideas.
The only reason why,
right? But I'm saying my point. It's like why worry about it? Let people you guys you worry about.
Listen. Look at Afghanistan.
I understand, but DA. Let's one example. Can I say one thing? While it's still in my head. DA, you were talking earlier about the emasculation of men, the femininity of men, right? This just this shift. You know why they're doing it? Because they can. And you know why they keep doing it? It's because it makes them happy to be themselves. It makes them happy to paint their nails or to wear a girly earring. No, but listen.
We have more depression ever in men.
We have more
in your demographic.
But there's no correlation. That's across the board. That is up across the board. That's not an argument.
No, it isn't. It actually isn't, right? There are studies showing that 18 to 25 is the most depressed demographic. It shows you the young men 18 to 25 are actually the most depressed demographic of men. So no, it's not. They're depressed. They're extremely depressed, right? You're seeing how young men are acting out. So stop it, right? And here's the thing, right? I think most red pillars are not promoting alpha men, right? They're saying beta is more like simps, but they're not pushing alpha, beta. That's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
That's in my opinion, that's the extremists, right? It's more than just don't be a fucking simp. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Be a good man, be a man, right? No one's like, oh, being a tough man. No one's promoting to be a tough man, right? That's the extremists, right? So I really want to get rid of that alpha shit because I really don't promote alpha shit. Right?
Okay, so the way that you're in your chat, like, so you're not a big fan. I don't know how to say this in a concise way. It doesn't matter. My overall thing, I think that I'm just not even gonna get through to you. Like, honestly, no disrespect, no offense. I didn't really think the fact that it might not go. Like, I don't. Like, why worry? I just don't understand. Like, I cannot comprehend how you guys, are so. You're always talking about this, like, this male happiness.
Yeah. If we didn't care about other men, no one else would.
All you're saying
I
is
have
no.
guys in my chat. Hold on, Redpill. I have guys that are single, that are MGTOW, married, in relationships. Right. Red pill is just a set of observations that you made to make the most informed decision that there is. You think that it's all about alphas and amputate, and what we're saying
I don't. I'm saying
red,
one thing.
red pill. I'm red. My one friend, he's married. He's been married for 14 years. He's a red pill guy. He agrees with everything that I say. You know what his wife does too. She believes that modern women are irresponsible. Look, I say men can lie, cheat, and steal, and be assholes. Women can lie, cheat, and steal, and be assholes. And somehow that's controversial. That's what Red Pill is saying. Anything that a man
But Alan doesn't need to, Eddie, because Alan's pretty happy. Alan got broken up with in a really rough way, and Alan didn't take it.
But you
like, I need this. This is my point. I don't need to. And my point is that, dude, me constantly blaming women for my problems is not helping. Me blaming my looks for my problems isn't helping anything.
If you agree,
my point is that
get got one day. You will get got one day.
Maybe you will. My point is that me constantly worried about things that are out of my control, like constantly trying to control things that I feel, like I'm being.
Just
it's a
walking the woods
complex.
blind. Walking the woods blind.
But I'm saying that you have to create your own persecution complex in order for any of it to make sense.
Wait, Alan, I don't understand. You said that you changed your mind on something. It seems like this was your mindset already. So I don't really know.
He gonna stay with it.
No, I'm saying that I have, like, my point is that this whole thing, the more that I talk to you guys and the more that I hear, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of getting it. Starting to understand. And then it's like, I saw the end goal of that, right? Like, you guys worry about this, like, the psyop of, you know, feminism and
but you worry about
gay people, whatever.
I really want to wait.
Feminism.
Wait, guys. I really
gotta go.
Before you go,
doesn't even really.
Before you go, I really want you see this, right? And go, right? I have a girlfriend I want to marry at the end of the year. AJ, he makes a good amount of money, helps a lot of people. He has a girlfriend.
Relationship,
big bars, right? He's taking care of his kids, being a great father. Those are the end goals, right?
Yeah,
those are the end goals.
All right, DA. Then I offer you something. You have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Good for you, man. Is she in the States?
No, but I will. I promote Passport Bros, and I've said that before.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I'm not against that literally at all. Does she watch your videos?
She does.
Would you go up to your girlfriend, like, before you ask her to marry you forever? Would you go up and tell her, by the way, would you say to her face, be honest with me, I don't think women should have the right to vote, as you said to me multiple times. Like, would you say that to your girlfriend?
I do.
I do too.
You would walk up to your girlfriend and be like,
I just said it to her earlier today.
DA, I'm not even playing around. I'm being for real.
Here's the thing, right? I would say that you picked me, you're gonna follow my leadership. I won't be
That's totally fine. DA, you're saying you would put your hand on the Bible and tell me, right? You would swear on the Bible, if you believe in that. I don't know what you really believe in. That you have told your hopefully soon to be fiance that you believe that women shouldn't be able to vote anywhere. You've said those words to her, as you've said to me.
No, I don't talk about the voting thing, but I told her
No,
about
you said you already
ideology.
did.
I do.
No,
Okay, I'm saying
I
would you
told her about my ideology, right?
Instead of watering it down as an ideology, I'm saying some of the things you
I don't
said
think
are
about the
just
voting like that much, right? I don't think about the
batshit
voting all
fucking
that time.
crazy.
But
Okay, so
all the things I
the
said,
sad
right?
thing.
I talk about it, right? I
Okay,
told
but
her how
I'm saying, but that is the end I'm seeing, and I'm asking you confidently because you're saying that your platform is about helping men, is about giving men the support they need by calling out women and making them take accountability. Makes sense. I like that idea in theory. Some of the stuff you say is pretty crazy, and I'm asking you, would you, yes or no, go up to her and say those words out loud, or would you have to water it down?
No, so if you say that, I would go up to her and say that you women shouldn't vote. Yeah, I would say that.
You would
I
just
think most people
would you
vote.
do it to your mom?
Yeah, Alan,
like would
do
you?
you
I would
know
too.
why?
I would do that to my. I would do that to all of my any woman I know. Hell, I would tell you not to vote.
Because do you
But
know
they don't
why
even vote
we believe
anyway.
that?
Not to vote.
What's the thing? Do you know why we would believe that women shouldn't vote?
Yeah, because you guys think that like feminism. I don't even know because I've heard so many different reasons.
It's because
I'm just saying it's just
right
such a
now. Listen. It's because we have to
absurd
sign
take.
up for selective service, and they don't. We have a responsibility. We have to sign up at a barrel.
Yeah, I knew you were
of a
getting into
gun,
that.
or we can't vote, and they can't.
Even that, right? Even that aside, I
There
think
you
most
go.
people shouldn't vote because they're uneducated.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's my number one thing, right? Most people shouldn't vote because they're uneducated about it.
And they have no skin.
That's the thing where that's my number one reason. Even the draft thing, which I agree with, number one thing, majority of people who vote, they're uneducated. They vote by identity politics, one policy thing, right? I've read it, right? I literally watch interviews where most people who voted for Obama purely voted for because he was black.
Yeah.
Most people that voted for Hillary, purely, yes.
That's not a real thing.
You cannot. Big bars.
That's
Big
not a
bars.
real
He's
thing.
black.
I will put.
No, Alan,
That
you
is
cannot.
a real thing.
Listen.
Bro,
Not yes, I'm sure it happened a good amount of time. I'll give you that. Liberals do talk.
There's two black people here.
No, I'm saying the idea that you said the majority of liberals who voted for Obama voted for him because he's black. The majority of like what?
I guarantee you,
60 million
they couldn't
Americans.
name a policy. They couldn't name a thing.
The majority of 60 million people who went out into the polls that day went because he was black. They didn't even look at his policy. You are confident in saying that.
Confident. Because it's Sarah Palin.
I would love it.
Where did you get that information from? Because that is.
I
lovely.
know a lot of people. You're talking to
I'm glad that you know a lot of people. DA said that with his chest. Where did you get that, DA? Where did you get that from?
People who just told me straight up that they voted for Obama because he was black, thinking like that's somehow gonna like get
no, but I'm saying because what happens he voted because he's black and a Democrat, sure.
They can like be pro-black or like talk bad about white people that they're
no, but that's not my point. I get what you're saying. My point is more so in like the overall like if the alien who knows nothing about politics and just got his voter ID got in, like you're telling me that without any ideology, you're telling me the conservatives would have voted up for him just because he's black?
No,
like
I think a lot of
it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that maybe they agreed with him also and they were just happy to see a black man as the president. You think it was all that?
They didn't even know what he was running on. I think I would say
you'd say that the majority of the people who voted in the 2008 and 2012 elections didn't even look at a policy. They just saw that he was an African fella, and just decided he was better than the.
And John McCain, he wasn't strong.
John
McCain does like. I actually don't hate Mitt Romney. I think Mitt Romney probably would have done okay.
I like John McCain until Sarah Palin came in. My point is this, and I'll end here. I don't believe in universal suffrage at all. I think that you should have some skin in the game. Either sign up for the draft, have done some civil service, take a civil test, own property, be a net taxpayer, whatever. But everyone shouldn't be able to vote, or at least raise the voting age like 25. You know what I'm saying?
That is an opinion that I can work with. I'm with you.
Why? But so you just said, well, yeah, you think that women shouldn't vote, and he just said that he doesn't think.
I still disagree. For the record, I'm just saying I think that that's more of a logical position than half of the population doesn't get a say no more because they harm my feelings.
But feminists say
I
that
think
they
we
want
shouldn't vote because
equality.
it should be voted because
Yeah,
you own property, business. It shouldn't be about gender based. It shouldn't be about race based. It shouldn't be about that. I don't care if you're a woman. I think most people shouldn't vote. I think the people should vote that has a
No, but
stake in the
shouldn't
game.
be able to or shouldn't?
They shouldn't be able to.
Shouldn't be able to.
Don't say because you're a woman you should be able to vote. No,
Okay,
say
so
because you own.
I'll ask you currently right now, the current leadership that we hold in our nation. If you gave him that, Mr. DA, you're the last person to sign over the government decides who can and who can't vote now act. Do you genuinely believe? Who do you think would be in the group that they would? I'm just curious now. I'm leaning on this. The red pill things, I agree. I just don't think we're ever really going to agree on it, and that's totally fine.
Before you go, I definitely want to spend a time, spend a
I'm
live.
asking you right now. I'm asking
build up
just
some stuff
genuinely
with
in your
Republican
mind with the people that we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, who do you think would be let in? Who do you think should be let into the voting group? You're saying.
What do you mean?
Yes, you're saying that you don't think that most people should be able to vote. Who are the lucky few that get to? What are the criteria?
Who has a family, who's married, right? Husband and wife.
Net taxpayers.
Business owners.
Sure. Why?
Homeowners.
Why does the family unit have any? I'm just explain it. Why do family people get to vote?
I think the backbone of America in history, and it should be today, it should be the family unit. Right?
Yep.
The family unit should always be the backbone of America.
So I'll say this: wouldn't that just lead to fake family units being created just so they have the opportunity to vote? People would be getting married literally
if
just so they could vote.
If you're gonna create a fake family unit just to vote, you're ridiculous. Voting is not that big of a deal.
No, but
to
I'm
fake
saying
a family,
that's
that's
a big
insane.
deal. No, I'm saying that would just incentivize people to get married specifically for favors.
And I mean, family unit as you're married and you have kids, not just because you're just married.
Yeah,
right?
dude. If I was living in a society, if I was living in the
marriage for a vote,
if I was living in society and I was single and didn't have a family, and the government passed the Alan Smithy gets shot tomorrow bill, I would be a little upset that I didn't get to participate in that.
But then
I think
you
that
would
most
just
people
do
would.
something to fit that standard. Do civil service, start a business, buy a home.
To avoid the Alan Smithy gets shot tomorrow bill, you can't do anything about it if you can't vote. But voting is voting is the greatest thing that we can do.
But
it really isn't.
But it wasn't.
I'm saying I am, regardless of if I pay taxes or have a family, I still should have a say.
Never been a fundamental right. It's been a privilege. They made it into a right. But when this country first started, the majority of people could not vote. So we would go back to the original model back then that said that you had to have some skin in the game. Even when you did vote, you got the draft because they were saying, look, if you own property, you had to go and defend it. And once again, right now, these women can vote to elect politicians who will start a war that they will never have to fight in, and we will. How is that fair?
I'll tell you, men have been trying. What?
Right
I don't
now,
understand the military thing. That's another one of those like red pill vibes. I don't get.
No, women can elect politicians.
But this isn't right. No, I heard what you said. So I'll ask you two things.
That women will never have to fight in.
Sure. So I'll ask two things. When was the draft last used? I don't know. Do you know?
Doesn't matter. There's
no,
men
I'm asking. I'm just
alive.
asking. I'm just
Listen,
asking. I'm just
in
asking.
Vietnam, but there's men who are alive today who have Agent Orange, who have their arms and legs blown off. Are you going to tell them, well, you know what? The draft was back when you were young.
No, that's not my point. My point is that I don't think that doesn't have anything to do. I'm saying that I don't think that point has anything to do with the concept of
Find a
feminism.
Vietnam War veteran and tell them this.
No, my next point is who was the group that was trying to keep women out of the military this whole time?
What does that matter?
I mean, so you're saying like they get to sign laws that we have to go to fight. It's like, first of all, the draft's never going to happen again. That's just a fairy tale.
I think it's lies. Trump, we recently just got passed where Trump pretty much re-signed the Trump. Re-signed the draft. So if
no, but they have to do that.
So Alan, you better hope to God there isn't a draft and you're cooked. I'm just saying.
Oh, I would fight on my own. If America was genuinely under attack, the only way that we're going to get a draft is if we are invaded. Like, and I would go to the front lines myself. Shit, I'd die for this country. I fucking love this country. No, I'm just saying, I wouldn't even need a draft. My point is that, like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but is it really that big of a deal? I mean, is that seriously a point?
Yes, because
That's a serious point of why women have it better than men, because they can vote and we have to
at
die.
18, if we don't sign up for selective service, we can go to jail. We cannot vote. We cannot get student loans. If you don't sign your draft card, there's direct consequences. The day you turn 18, there's a shotgun pointed at you. Women do
But it's not a shotgun.
go through this. So,
it's like Homer Simpson's like makeup shotgun. It's not a real threat. You really think the draft is a genuine threat?
No. The signing up of the draft, there's penalties if you don't. I'm talking about signing up to the draft.
No, I understand that. Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. My point is that
signed
that
your draft card, right?
I don't 100%.
Okay. Did any of the women that you know sign there? So we don't have bodily autonomy. We don't. Men in the U.S.
When are you talking about bodily autonomy? I'm talking about measurable things that do happen every day. You're talking about something that might happen that definitely won't.
No, because if
you're worried about the draft,
sign your draft card, you can go to jail. Listen.
Yeah, you're right. And if I don't pay my parking ticket next week that I got in Clawson, Michigan, I get a $40 fine.
You are compelled to sign that draft card.
I am, yes.
What are women compelled to do?
Okay, yeah. In general sense, I would grant you this. If the government, if the administration or whatever, when was selective service passed?
No.
I mean, this is
Let's talk about the fact that you have to sign your draft card. You have.
Yeah, I'll
not even worry about getting drafted, but if you don't, you are compelled to, or you will go to jail. Name something that women are compelled to do. I'll wait.
Compelled to do, or they go to jail?
Yes.
Pay taxes.
That's everyone.
Drive on the right side of the. Yeah, I'm saying it's everyone.
That's the equivalent of the.
Yes, and we have a special. I don't think there's an equivalent because I don't think it matters.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my goodness, you are my favorite. You are my favorite person ever.
AJ, for the record, when I watch this back, I really don't think that means what you think it means.
Is that until
me saying that a fact
really
what's going on?
Quality.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get along in this one. I don't think we're ever going to get along.
We don't. Men in the United States.
Yeah, but waking up just makes me more miserable. Waking up just makes me hate more people and wake up and be worried about more things. I'd rather not.
I don't hate nobody. I don't hate people.
Bodily autonomy. Men in the United States, we do not, because we are compelled to sign up for the government to actually, or else. They say we own you or else. The fact that we sign on that thing says they can activate us at any time. Look at the Ukraine. They got drafted men 665 and younger. Guys with one leg, guys with diabetes. They were probably saying, Ivan, we will never get drafted. No way. And now they're over there fighting. So I
just don't think it's a very good point for us specifically.
Women talk about bodily autonomy for baby deletion. No one's compelling them to get pregnant and have kids. We have to sign that draft card. And it's so, what did DA say? No one gives a damn about our problems. It's like you can't even empathize.
I think you created this idea that no one cares.
Are you serious?
See,
we didn't.
I think that the concept
it's
of
a reflection of reality.
Persecution.
There you go.
Yes, they don't. On an average, yes, but I think that me learning and actually being like, you know what, fuck it, let everyone just do it. Who gives a shit? Is a much better mindset than we must be mad all of the time. It's like, what the fuck?
Mad.
Why you talking about being mad? Because we want to inform people?
I'm saying about the draft thing specifically. Having that in the back of your mind is such a nothing burger of a worry. You know that. We are adults.
That's just that particular argument. That's just for that particular argument.
I know, but why? But that shouldn't even be like a thing that you're worried about. I'm not worried about it because I don't give a shit. Yes, I signed up for the draft. Who cares?
But the feminists, and you say that you are one, want equality, right? And what I'm saying is
I think they should have to sign up for the draft. I agree.
Well, I definitely agree too. Women should be on the front line.
I agree too. Yeah.
I also think that I find it kind of odd, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, if the world, I'm not even going to try to make this like a logical thing. If the world was ran by women entirely, there wasn't a single male politician in office when they came up with the draft order, and we still had it today, I'd be like, yeah, that sucks. We should change that because that's completely unfair. That makes no sense. Like, they got to choose what we do. Who do you think voted for selective service to get passed?
There was no vote.
Because I
It's
sure
just been a
weren't
thing.
the honeys.
Listen.
I'm just saying. Yes, they are allowed to vote on they are allowed to give their opinion for people who already gave their opinion on how the draft works. Dude, I'm saying a bunch of white men decided that we should have a draft,
No,
and now
a
you're
bunch
but you're
of
upset at the women for having the
a bunch
yes,
of
okay.
rich white
A
men,
bunch
a
of
small
rich
percentage
whites
of men.
A bunch of rich whites decided that there should be a draft. And instead of being upset at them, you're upset at the woman who can vote and
I'm
not be in
pointing
it.
out the hypocrisy of the
But I don't
women
think
who say they want equality and talk about how oppressed they are and talk about
Women have been
bodily
fighting to be in the military
autonomy.
forever. They've been fighting for it forever, and it keeps getting pushed back.
Well,
Yeah,
what
that was
I'm
my next
saying
point. Your
is
point would
that
hold a lot more water if there was they've always had the opportunity.
We're not talking about women can join the military. Like, what are you talking about?
They can't. No, now yes, but I'm saying they've been fighting for it forever.
They've been able to join since like the early 1900s, bro. What are you talking about?
In combat positions?
No, because they're
Why
not
would you want
optimal for it.
Why would you want people in combat situations? We're not equal. We're not equal.
Well,
that's the point. Like, okay, then I
Totally.
concede it. I
We're
don't
not
even care. I
totally
completely
equal.
disagree.
We're not totally
100%
equal.
disagree.
Guys, final point's this, right? Is this. We
don't
we hear bodily autonomy with women all the time. It leads this whole victimhood.
Because it's like a genuine thing.
For us and not them. For us.
I don't think.
How does a woman not have bodily autonomy? She can just not get pregnant. Here, be abstinent for 20 years and you won't worry about abortion. Like men, we have to sign up for the draft. We have
But
to.
you have to sign up for like this amorphous bad thing. I get what you're saying.
No,
I understand.
Alan, what happens if we don't sign that draft card?
You said this. It's a crime. It's a felony, actually, and I think it's kind of silly.
You're talking about actually getting drafted. I'm talking about if we.
Yes, but then I'll admit it. My bodily autonomy was violated. I don't give a shit because it's not gonna fucking happen. But the woman who got knocked out, the woman who got
by a young 20-year-old.
Okay, my point. The woman who got assassinated by a guy and was forced to carry the baby to term. Unfortunately, I think I have a little bit more sympathy for them than maybe getting drafted one day.
That's something that could never.
This is my point.
Either. You've already been signed up for the Selective service. You've already done so. You had no choice. You've already the fact.
Okay, so who do you think has it worse? Who do you think this idea of body autonomy? Who do you think has it worse? You for having to sign up for a draft, or the woman who lives in Florida who got denied access to baby delusion and had to carry a baby to term just for it to die in her arms?
Not every woman gets SA. A small percentage. Every man has to sign up for the Selective service. Every man.
But you're making it seem like getting essayed and having to carry the baby is like on the same level as signing a piece of paper.
Small percentage.
No, because what?
But I'm just saying it doesn't matter if it's a small percentage.
If you don't sign up for the draft, for the you can't vote.
Yeah, I understand. But if I lined up two groups of 100 people and made one group of all 100 of them stub their toe, and then on the other group I shot one of them in the fucking head,
you can go to jail and you can't vote.
Yeah, if you don't do it. But you do it.
The government is,
and you shouldn't be worried about it. Why are you worried? You're worried about the fucking draft. Are you serious?
You care so much more about women that you're talking about a mythical case instead of what you have already been forced to do.
I mean, what? I just don't understand.
Am I in clown world here?
I just don't understand why you're worried about it. Like why it bothers you. This is my point about the Redpill. It's reactionary, in my opinion.
No. We're just pointing.
Why do you worry about the 1%? Why do you worry about the less than 1%?
Huh?
Why do you worry about the less than 1% of abortion?
Women of my thing because it causes like entirely unnecessary pain and suffering. Like
for 1%, less than 1% of women.
Yeah, so that less than 1%, that's a pretty fucked up thing for them.
Compared to it will be the majority of young men.
Compared to 100% of when's the last time you cried? When's the last time you cried over having to be in the draft?
How about the tens of thousands? When's the last time you cried about who got killed in Vietnam? The tens of thousands who were deluded.
Right, which is why we have basically stopped the draft. It's just there as a formality at this point in case we get invaded, which we won't because we're the United States.
You signed up for it. I signed up for it. It's still a thing. I'm talking about the selective service. We had to do this under penalty. We were compelled to do it. Women are not compelled to do anything.
Yes, I understand, but like I just
still
okay. So
Alan, I wish you would go to the VA hospital. You can just go there.
It has nothing to do with the draft. I'm not trying to make fun of them
because you're downplaying men.
He ain't living no life.
That's not the point. I'm not downplaying the idea of the draft actually happening. I'm downplaying the idea
in the middle of nowhere who might have been essaying to have a baby.
I would say this, right?
Yeah, because I don't think it's an actual threat.
I would say this, right?
I don't think it's a threat of violence. I don't think there's any actual threat of me being drafted, of you getting drafted. Fucking anyone.
This is the problem.
There is a genuine quantifiable threat to the woman that happened to, even if it's 1 in a million.
If you didn't sign up for the draft,
if you didn't, be so sure it's coercion. I'm not saying it's not coercion.
Thank you.
I'm not saying it's not.
So you were coerced into doing something, and you're comparing it to something that might happen to some chick somewhere out there. That's clown world.
Yeah, because I'm not. Yeah, I can be compelled. Yeah, so if the FBI showed up to my house tomorrow morning and decided, this kid's gonna eat a poached egg today, and put a gun in my head and made me eat a fucking poached egg, I wouldn't be happy about it. I would be compelled, but it's not the same amount of like. That's not even relatively comparable to having have your rapist baby.
Go to college. If you didn't sign up, you couldn't vote, and you couldn't go to college. And
AJ, you said these things, and you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, Alan, you gotta look at it this way. You gotta look at it a different way, right?
The draft is not a threat. Oh my God,
it's always a threat
political thing.
Because we're like in the last couple of things with Trump, we're listening to like potential World War III, all this shit, right? The thing is like here, you gotta look at it differently, where men wouldn't even talk about this or care about it, right? It's the problem is that women like to pay a victim Olympics, so men play against it. So it's like, yes, the draft happens, but in reality, day to day, men don't care. Men really don't care. The issue is that if women make it an issue that, oh my God, 1% of this happened to 1% of women. Okay, now you want to play a victim Olympics? Men will say the same thing too. That's the issue. If something happens to a small select of women,
DA, can you give me the definition of the word reactionary?
No, I'm not. I never disagreed to that. I never disagree with that, right?
But
this is the issue. Why I said that.
Because
I said this, and I said this.
People his mistakes to younger guys so that they avoid those mistakes. That's proactive. That's proactive. Why do you think the information is out there? It's because the descriptors are out there saying, "Hey guys, look out for this. Don't do this."
Look out for this.
Proactive. Proactive. You're talking about the prescriptors. Here we are back at the beginning.
I just don't understand.
How many times has Devil's
I don't understand why I should worry myself with these things.
You don't have to. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to, and somehow you still do. You don't.
I just find it interesting as fuck. These conversations are like my favorite things to do.
But here's the thing.
This is lovely. I really do appreciate you guys having me.
That's the beautiful thing. I have subscribers who are Muslim, who are Christian, who are atheists, who are all over the world, right? But we agree in what the basic nature of men and women are, and we talk about our mistakes so that younger guys don't make the same ones. That's what the
which just happen to usually also be very disparaging towards women. So you're saying it's one big coincidence that a good amount of the Redpill community,
women on the same level.
There are grown adults that are unironically calling women 304s.
Yes.
Like that is such a childish, lame fucking thing to say.
Bring back shame.
We
shame. Just calling women hoes, calling women whores is bringing back shame. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
Your mother did a job. Your mother did a job.
That's genuinely the most immature shit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. I can't even comprehend it.
Suffer, man. Sadly, he's going to suffer. He's going to suffer because he's going to grow a little bit and get cooked.
But I don't see the correlation between trying to help them get out and
all that. You don't see stuff. You should have been listening.
Listen. If there's
I do have to go. I love this. I need to.
There's a guy out there who's an addict. He's a gambling addict, or whatever. Calling him an addict is not an insult. If a woman is a 304, she's a 304. That's it's a descriptor. There are women. I know women in college. I went to college too.
Me too. We all do. But just like this.
Is it an insult to call them? Look, I call men all types of names. I call women names too. But for some reason, on the left, when you treat women like men, you're a misogynist. I treat everyone equally.
Yeah.
Women are little low down, dirty, cheating, lying idiots, and men are low down, dirty. If you think that I'm bad with women, wait till you see how I talk about incels.
And I agree, but we live, unfortunately, we live in a society that gave us a head start. That's what my point is.
Also stab ourselves in the back because
and give you a head start. Literally, you told me about your past. You told me what happened to your father. You told me what happened to you. You never got a head start.
In
you
a
literally
general
said that
sense, you don't
lived
think
in
that
poverty.
No,
to absolutely. This is the problem with your leftist mindset, right? Which I.
Oh my god, my leftist mindset. Oh no,
you didn't have a head start. You didn't have a head start. Yeah. Right? Your father didn't have a head start.
100% did. Dad didn't have a head start for other things.
No,
this is why the left, feminism, all that shit is poisoning you.
I'm saying you've turned yourself into victims for things that you shouldn't really even be worried about.
No victims here.
You're saying that you're like a victim of the draft. Is just such a crazy statement.
It was just a talking point.
You are a victim because you think that somehow there's something wrong with you and how you were raised. When you said that you had a head start, is that a positive thing? Is that painting yourself?
I didn't mean. Oh no, bye, AJ.
No, he's back.
Huh.
But didn't you say that you had a head start? Alan?
No, not me. It's not me, Alan Smith.
Yes, you did. You said
you said men have a head start. That's
in a general sense. We're adults here. We can agree on that.
Is that painting you out to be a positive or a negative when it comes to
in a general sense? I think that if we reset the world right now and everything that we knew is gone, and we made the only rule, God himself comes down and does the rapture, right? It just clears the whole world, creates new continents and everything, kills every single person except for Adam and Eve. And his only commandment is make sure that you guys never fight with each other over equality and just have the exact same things every single time. If that was God's only commandment, I think that equality would just be a thing, right? But it
will be destroyed.
No, that's
not equal really in that way.
My point is that we already live in a world that was architected by men, and now we're upset about women.
I'm saying it's because men own the monopoly on force. You look at Afghanistan.
Right, but I'm saying that these things you're complaining about were created by men.
Women have to appeal to men for their rights. Because if we decide as a group to take their rights away, there's nothing that they can do about it.
Exactly, which is why they're pissed off and they want more power.
But listen, but they have to beg for their power from us. So the idea of non-patriarchy is stupid because they have to appeal to the patriarchy for their rights. Look at the Middle East.
And they don't like doing it, which is why they want to change it.
But there's nothing they can do about it. Because we can just throw them in cages tomorrow.
No, nothing.
Exactly. That's why they are upset.
Afghanistan, right?
I don't think I can.
The United States decided that the women of
Afghanistan
had rights. And then we left, and then the Taliban took over, and now the women have no rights because women cannot physically overpower men. The whole Middle East, women are second-class citizens. They cannot make themselves equal because there's not enough men to fight off the men who are trying to make them not equal. This is how the world works. Men gave women rights.
I think it's just mean. Like, I just think that it's like...
Alan, I think
that the idea of you feeling some divine passion in you to talk about it all of the time.
Listen. If white people decided to put black people in cages in the United States tomorrow, we couldn't do anything.
Exactly, which is why we're upset about that fact, which is why I want more black people in Congress.
You're looking at it in a wrong way. You're looking at it in a wrong way.
Women are mad that can happen, which is why they want more women in their
You're not seeing it. You're not seeing that people are actually better than what you're making them out to be. Right? Humans are more good than you think.
Yeah,
right. And that's the problem.
I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm not saying that this isn't even like a. I'm not one of those like America is racist people. Those liberals fucking annoy me. I don't like those people.
Yeah.
I'm just, but like to completely disregard the fact that like a lot of this country was not on equal footing for the majority of it is just ludicrous. That's all I'm saying.
The world isn't. It's ridiculous.
Right. And so there are people right now, whether or not you think it's a pipe dream, who say, I don't like that, I want to change that, and you're mad at them for trying.
No one's mad at them.
They're not
You gotta wake up from it.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not realistic.
realistic.
Okay, so
here's the thing. This is how the world is. There's only two things
I just
you can
don't
do.
understand
Nothing and
the
like
fucking. I don't understand what the point of being upset about it is.
it. Who's upset?
I'd say DA gets a little upset sometimes. Do you watch his videos?
Because it's the thing is that it promotes victimhood.
Yes.
That's why I would be upset because it promotes.
And the red pill doesn't promote victimhood.
Like it promotes
victimhood.
victimhood.
You tell me the red pill does not promote
they're victims. It's minorities think they're victims, right?
Yeah, I just don't
That's
think we're
the
gonna.
problem.
I don't think we're gonna.
Right? So yeah, I would say
You know?
I would talk out about it.
Yeah.
I just think that the overall harm to society of you guys of the exact same thing that's happening right now, just like what feminization of men and who cares, and the shit that you advocate for, I think that we're doing pretty good.
We advocate for men being the most successful version of themselves
by constantly just shitting on women, which is just so nonsensical.
No,
holding people accountable isn't shitting on them.
Exactly. There are people, I'm not saying you, who when you say, hey, look, bro, your wife's probably cheating on you. How can you dare say that? Oh, or like, I had a live stream. It was saying, if a man cheats, why don't we ever ask, what did the wife do? Instead of, because when the woman cheats, we ask, what did the husband do?
Yeah,
there are plenty of guys who.
But who is we? I've never heard this before.
Society in
general, you know that when a woman cheats, they ask, what did the husband do to make her cheat? It's in the rom-coms. It's in everything. What I'm saying is, I know guys that have had sexless marriages for 8, 9, 10 years, and they said they stepped out. The wife was not even having sex with her husband, and what did the wife do to make him step out? What I'm saying is, I hold men and women equally accountable, and your brain has been programmed to think that judging a man and a woman in the same merit is misogyny.
I don't think it's misogyny.
You agree that men and women can both be lying, narcissists,
this is lovely. This is fantastic.
Abusers.
Yes, right? I do agree with that.
Welcome to the Red Pill, buddy.
Yeah,
that's not red pill. That's just being a logical person.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you talking
again,
about?
that's red pill. Being a logical person is red pill.
Do you think that liberals? Do you think that like the left, like actually genuinely has a hive mind that like women are never in the wrong?
Leftists do. Liberals
okay, so
don't.
You think that there's like a genuine leftist hive? You guys, we should do man on the street shit. I'm gonna come over. We should organize a meetup, and I'll get on camera. I'll walk around to people. I'll walk around to people with you. I'll go to like dude. We'll meet up in Seattle. We'll meet up in Seattle, Washington, and these things that you say.
Yeah.
No, listen. I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not. Sorry about that. I'm saying you'll never catch me fucking dead in Seattle. I do not want to go there. No disrespect. I'm good. But I'm saying like we could go to one of these lefty fucking horrible cities, and we'll do man on the street. All of these things you're saying that they say, we'll see if they say, because I've never heard of these things. I hear I hear so many of like similar like phrases and like ideas that like quote unquote the leftists do from a lot of these like conservative pundits that I watch. Like I watch mostly conservative news now. I find it quite interesting actually. Just to hear the other side. But like most of the time I'll hear these things that I've never once heard. Ever. Right? And it's like I feel like you're just riling yourselves up for no reason.
And Vogue and all the and all these magazines. My final point is, once again, men need to be the most successful version of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, socially.
I agree. I just don't think this is the way to do it.
Because if you're not, you aren't useful.
We gotta make a time. Right? We gotta make a time.
And DA,
I was gonna go in a second. Anyway, I got.
No. I'm saying we gotta make it a night where if you're free, we gotta make it.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I think we should. Dude, I just got off of work. I saw you were live. I just wanted to
gather up all your talking points. Yeah. Let me battle it with you. Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah, I would love next week, man. We can figure it out. I guess. Okay, my point. I don't come here in bad faith, you know that, and I feel like maybe I talked to Big Bars before, maybe, and if I haven't, then it's nice meeting you. I guess it's like my little tiny fucking ADHD brain is like I constantly reach it. It's all I fucking do. Like it's probably not good for me. Like overall, I will admit. but like I vote liberal. I read, I guess I'd say I read more. I mean, what quote unquote left biased things when I'm actually like doing research and stuff. But like I watch mostly conservative red things now, and I just can't get it because it just seems like every 5 minutes there's a new other to be an
Collect your
enemy.
talking points, and we'll have a debate on it. Collect your talking points.
I guess I would. I just it seems so pointless to constantly be worried about these things. That's it.
I'll show you the meaning. I'll show you the meaning.
Yeah,
I don't think I got a single answer. I don't think I got a single actual answer out of these videos that I was watching. Not from you guys. You guys are cool. I like you guys.
Are you an atheist, Alan?
I don't know. I don't think about it all that often.
Okay, but
I'm not
my
religious.
point is, okay, do you know how like religious people try and say that atheism is a religion when it's like, no, every atheist is like an island on himself. You know what I'm saying? Like atheists are just.
I mean, I guess I think I get what you're saying. I've never heard this specifically. But I get you.
That's how red pill guys are. Every single red pill guy is different. So yes, there's Fresh and Fit and Myron Gaines, who I don't particularly like. And
I was gonna say, does it bother you guys even like a little bit that you do have people out here like saying all this wild women are just meant for sex? It doesn't bother you that they're in the same.
Here, big bars. All the negative black stereotypes. Nug has babies everywhere. Nug breaks in the stores. A lot of those are true, but that's not me. It doesn't bother me. It's not me.
But I'm just saying, like, I was that's fine. I was just curious.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, you cape for women and they're wrong. That's what we're trying to tell you. They're doing wrong things. They're wrong.
Men do wrong things.
But like what?
They both do wrong. They don't cape. Nobody's caping for a man.
They sleep around more often. I just don't see why these things are like I should be worried about.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
That's fair. Fair enough. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Please debate DA on his points and not like. Well, I'm not saying that you do this, but DA he gets this. I get this. Well, Andrew Tate says this, and Fresh and Fit say that. It's like, well, I didn't say that. I was on another panel. With some
of course. I get.
They were trying to say that I was. I was like, shilling for Rollo Tomasi. I don't agree with him on a lot of things.
All I'm saying is that I couldn't have voted. I guess my point is that like when I look at it, right, like I've organized, like talking events and stuff at school, and like I was very politically active when I'm at college. So like I got to meet Elizabeth Warren. I'd say that I'm not like super aligned with her politics. Listen to my point. But I went to her event. Like she is on quote unquote, she's part of the political community that I find myself in. And even though I didn't get to vote for her, even though I've don't really know her personally, if she said something, I would still say that yes, it's kind of a reflection of the rest of that like style liberal. Like I did not vote for Elizabeth Warren. If she came to the rally and said, "I think we should kill all fucking black people," I'd be like, "Whoa!" But unfortunately, that's kind of that's a stain. That's a stain that I wouldn't be proud of, and it's a stain that I wouldn't just ignore because I know that I'm different, right? Like that's my point. Like I'm not going to sit there if I organized a political rally and the political person came in and said some crazy shit. I'm not just going to sit there and be like, well, this is okay because I know that I don't believe it. Like no, it's an indictment on everybody. That's my point.
This isn't like a movement though. This is not like what makes
you get what I mean though, right?
No,
like you get what I'm saying.
Because
this is the thing where
what makes
hold people
someone
accountable.
red pill is that they say they are. That's it. If you say you're a red pill, that's it. You are part of the club. There's no signing up like you have to.
Exactly. No, that's my point. It's an all-encompassing thing that everyone can either agree or disagree with, and even if you do, shit. Dude, there's probably some guy out there that thinks he's the smartest guy in the fucking world for going red pill, who you could talk to and you wouldn't agree on a damn thing aside from just not really liking women all that much. And like that is unfortunate. And that is, I'm not going to say it's indictment on you, but it is. I think I do unfortunately think that's a bit of an indictment on the community.
Women, though. Here's the thing. All of us like women. We
you like women for reasons that they would rather you didn't.
By holding them accountable, we want them to have better outcomes.
So, do you think that calling women en masse hoes is a better outcome for women?
They call us all types of stuff. But
not they called us though. No, I'm saying overall.
No, no,
you're trying to help out women. I'm asking, do you think that these things are actually helpful? Do you think that see, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying,
Alan, wait, guys. You have to think like this, right? I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you that bad apples are always there. Just like the left, right? The people that killed Charlie Kirk, the people that would kill the people that there's always bad apples, right?
Ran up
You
in
condemn
Mosque,
them,
San
great,
Diego.
right? Great. The issue is that at the end of the day, there will always be extremists, right? There will always be extremists, and this is why I particularly myself, why I hold myself accountable, and why I always say you should never agree with me 100%. Be your own man. Think critically. Right? That's what I promote. I always promote that, where I tell people, do not agree with me 100%. Be your own man. Make your own decisions. Right? I will say this. Yes, all these people who are supposedly the face of Redpill, they say a lot of crazy shit. But again, I've seen it before. They have helped people plenty of times. Right? Even though they say crazy stuff. So
I just don't see why I would want to involve myself in the community that still accepts them, even if it's not like an endorsement, but an acceptance. Like it's hard to sell me on that.
I don't even know
I'm not saying you're endorsing saying that all women should just be like sex slaves. I'm saying that the fact that the greater Red Pill community hasn't really disavowed it and like not accepted it, I think is a little telling of what the average Red Pill 21-year-old is thinking.
I think that's kind of a lie, because I think in general, most Red Pillers stay away from the whole alpha man mentality, right? Most Red Pillers.
So who's like your favorite? Like who is a Red Pill content creator that you think I should watch that isn't like that? Because like I said, my YouTube feed was fucked within like a day. It got real bad. Like I'm not.
Try what is it? What is it? I forgot the mediocre tutorials.
Sure.
I think he's a powerful guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Guy. Yeah, and he doesn't promote alpha man.
I'll give him a check. I'll for real give him a check out. Maybe this is the type of shit.
Yeah, I said definitely.
I look at his thing and it's
check out old school.
Check out old school. Fuck are these video titles? It's all god damn it. I mean,
please also separate the whole clickbaity shit, right? It's like listen to people's ideology, listen to how they talk as well, right?
Did you ever watch that documentary about Red Pill? Did you ever watch like the starting point of like the Red Pill stuff?
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch.
You should watch it because I didn't watch it either. I watched a review of it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. I highly recommend it because a lot of the stuff, unfortunately, that was said in it was just kind of not true. I'm not saying that's an indictment on you guys currently, because obviously the movement's probably different than it was 10 years ago. But I just I found that interesting. Like the starting point of the thing that you're saying was just filled with a bunch of bullshit that they admitted to lying about. Like that's another makes it kind of a hard sell for me to think that I'm actually the dumb person.
Like the feminist movement, they lie.
But no, but I'm not talking about whataboutisms because I'm not part of that either. Because I don't want to be.
But again,
you should watch the Red Pill documentary. Honestly, I think it might open your eyes to the actual origins of the type of people that started this shit.
To watch it. Wow.
But like I said, right? Like I said, collect your talking points. Let's have an actual sit down and let's have an actual debate, me and you.
Yeah, word. This is good. I like hearing your guys' perspectives. This is awesome, man. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate you having me on. You know the vibes. Yeah. Good night. Are you? DA? Are you on the like East Coast, West Coast? I'm not gonna dox you. I promise. I'm just curious what your time zone is.
Philly.
Oh shit! Word. Okay, so we're on the same. I was just curious what your what time it gets for you. That's all.
All right.
Word. Well, I hope you have yourself a lovely night then.
Yeah, man.
Till the next time I talk, I hope things go well for you, man. I'm wishing you luck.
Same to you, bro.
Yeah, dude. And big bars. I wish the same to you as well. You seem actually really cool. All of you guys are cool. Like I get a little heated with AJ sometimes. He gets a little heated. It's all good. But like I don't know. I do genuinely. I have no ill will.
No.
I enjoy these conversations as always, and you guys do put me on to some cool shit sometimes, dude. Like I do. I like the other perspective more sometimes than I like the perspective that I already agree with.
No, I enjoy it.
So I appreciate it in general. You know that.
All right, man.
You have to take care, boys.
Big bars. I love you. I want to give you the last word, right? Any final thoughts for what we had today? I want to give you a little bit of spotlight, my brother.
Thank you, man. I just want to I think it's kind of sad because I think Alan is very smart, but I think he hasn't been through nothing. And when I was 20 years old, I thought I knew everything and I knew nothing.
I
And
definitely like what you just said right before. He's smart but not wise. I love that. I love that.
yes, because wise people can listen to other people and then move correctly. And he doesn't seem to be. He seems to be stuck in a certain paradigm, and he's going to stay there. And it's sad until he gets cooked, until he sees what we're talking about. Some people have to get hit by that rock. Some people can move out of the way, and some people got to get hit by it. And that's just sad to me that you can't take when we're talking, we're saying our ages. That should have been a signal to him to listen more than he talks. And he doesn't want to do that. He wants to talk. He wants to be seen and he wants to be heard. And that's a problem. That's a modern problem. That we have people that want to be seen and heard instead of listening and being a sharp instrument moving forward. You know, he could be a very sharp instrument moving forward if he would listen, but he doesn't want to listen. He thinks his liberal biased literature can stand up to actual literature, and that's crazy. That's crazy talk to me. You know, sadly, the thing is that I understand him more now. Before I was like more combative towards him, but now I understand him, and it's like it is what it is. But until he lives some life, it is like certain people. Until you live their life, until you live some life, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. He's not going to understand me being in mediation about to pay 400, then going to court and having to pay 600 and get screwed over. He's not going to understand that. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to understand that, and it's not taking nothing away from nobody because we know what we're doing. We're trying to get people like him to see and not fall off the cliff. But until he sees it that way, it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's very sad to me. It's just very sad that you have people that are because I wish I had Red Pill. I didn't have Red Pill when I was coming up. I didn't have nobody. I didn't have older men telling me that women are not sugar and spice and everything nice. Women are not. Not all. And I think Evil Eddie said it the best. We're not calling all women 304s. We're calling 304s 304s.
Yep.
If you're a 304, you're a 304. If you're a regular woman working her, you're a regular woman. I look up to regular women. I think it's kind of sad that it's less real women now than 304s. It's way more 304s than regular women. That's sad. And I think the regular women do need to speak up. I think the time of them just sitting. See, that's the thing about like certain people, good people, more logical people. We kind of be like, you do what you do on your side, I do what I'm doing on my side. But I think it's gotten to the point that we cannot be quiet no more because everything's going to be in the toilet if we don't speak up. If we let these 304s and these evil rich people, whatever, if we let whatever run amok, we're not going to make it. That's the truth. That's the truth. All the side arguments we want to have, that's fine. But the truth of the matter is, if we don't get on if we don't get a strong enough team on the same accord to fight this craziness that's going on, we're going to not be around in 100 years. I want us to last 1,000 years, at least. And I think it's really disingenuous, man. It gets to the point where it's like you just want to take up for women, and all women are not good women, just like all men are not good men. That's the truth. And until we start seeing it that way, it's going to be a problem. I'm sorry. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest because that's how I feel.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. We got to get together.
Yes. All right. Great show. Great show. Love it. Thank you for being here, my brother.
Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure, man. You say I had to come in at the end because I almost missed it. And then I was like, it's Wednesday. Let me it's Wednesday. Let
I
me
love
go
it.
in.
I love it. I love it, my brother. All right. Thank you for being here. Have a good
All right,
night.
peace, man. You too.
Later. Guys, I love you. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for being here. Please check out my other videos. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't. You guys are amazing. Evil Eddie, Brent, Steve was here. Laughing Man was here early. Omni, I love you, my brother. I love you. All right. Thank you, AJ, for stopping by. You know, Alan, thank you for being here. Big Bars, I love you. I think Red Door was here, right? Was she? No. Was Ethan was here. Ethan was here. Thank you guys. You guys are all amazing. Right? Thank you for all the love. Thank you for being here. But yeah, that is it for tonight. See you guys.